Well, the summer showcase season has come and gone, and PlayStation fans, some are pretty upset, some maybe just a little bit dissatisfied with what PlayStation came to the events with or showed up with. Many were anticipating a PlayStation showcase, and we got a state of play. Many were hoping for first-party announcements for some of the studios to finally talk, maybe even finally hear about Spider-Man DLC. In my latest upload, I walked through basically what is PlayStation doing? Why are we not getting showcases? Why have we not heard about or seen Spider-Man 2 DLC? Why are you doing a Lego Horizon game and putting it on the Nintendo Switch? And the biggest announcement that they had was Astro Bot, which, while we're seeing great responses to that game, Xbox seemed to have this huge, awesome showcase, and PlayStation fans feel like they got a little bit less. So be sure to check out my latest upload. I walk through what I feel is the reasoning, what's going on here, if I try to think about this logically, because I do feel PlayStation's been very difficult to predict. What's their marketing? What are they going to do? When are the showcases? Because last year to this year, we haven't seen these big showcases that we were maybe hoping for. Or at the very least, we haven't seen a lot from the first-party studios. So be sure to go check out that video. We open up every day with an upload, and then we come over to a live discussion. That's what this is. And when you watch that, it's this sort of well-put-together monologue with lots of nice footage and things for you, so that way you can know what I think about a given subject. And now it's time to hear what you think. So good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, guys. Thank you so much for being here. Make sure you have gone through that morning ritual, man. As you guys pile in and settle in for the discussion, if you're going to lurk, if you're going to listen, if you're going to chat it up with me, if you're going to debate with me, make sure you hit the like button first. Always do that first when you get here in the morning. It helps the video find more folks. And if you leave a comment on the upload, excuse me, I may read your comment. Like MTO just left a comment on the upload and says, Sony is opening up and getting their games on other consoles. What a time to be alive. And Astro Bot deserves to be treated as a big deal. I actually agree about Astro Bot. Based on the early previews that we are hearing, I said yesterday, even before those previews hit, I said, I'm telling you guys, I think Astro Bot's going to surprise people. I really do. I think it's going to do very well at the Game Awards. I think it's going to score very well. That's a game that's going to stand tall just sort of automatically because there aren't a ton of games like that coming out right now. Nintendo's having a lighter year. They're likely saving and building things for the Nintendo Switch 2. And I think Astro Bot's going to sort of be able to clean up in that category. And it already looks like it's not really going to have a hard time anyway because it just looks like a very, very good game. And it's not like a tech demo for a controller. It sounds like a very full and big and awesome game. Mike S. with 13 months as a member says, one reason to not sleep on Astro Bot is that it got likened to being PlayStation's answer to Mario Galaxy, and that is incredible. Right, the article actually said Super Mario Wonder, but a lot of people are saying that, Mike. They're essentially saying the spirit of what you're saying is, like, this is their Mario. And I said it reminded me of Mario Galaxy when we first saw the trailer, especially the boss fights. I was like, that looks like a freaking blast. I was like, that looks like a full game, not like a tech demo. Then Joker Quinn with the first gifted member of the day, Han shot first, and so did you. You guys have been absolutely crushing it lately. I can't even say thank you enough for the consistency with the members. You guys have unlocked Scary Game Friday night, and now you can work on the stretch goal where Madam can mess with me. And I do want to thank Brandon. Brandon renewed his membership during the upload. It's a VIP 37 months. Welcome back in, Brandon. We greatly appreciate you. And you guys right now are sitting on 102 was yesterday's count, which is crazy. And then plus all the other days of the week, you guys hit 413. So you're already past the 400. So now you're on your way to 500 easy. That's a very, very easy goal to hit. 87 is nothing for you guys. I don't think you meant it I don't think you meant it this way, but I think people who say the original Astro was just a tech demo maybe didn't play it. Well, what I mean, yeah, you're right. I don't mean it that way. Like, this is a full-fledged game, not like a small, sort of contained tech demo. It's more than a tech demo. Both of my kids loved Astro's Playroom. They had a blast with it. So I would say everybody should go check it out. It's really, really fun. J-Dog with 26 months in a VIP. 26 months, that's longer than the Anthem dev cycle. Thank you very much. Dazmees left a comment on the PlayStation video that I just uploaded. It says, PlayStation operates on their own time. Everybody questioned them why they're quiet, and then they show up and they break the internet. The most dangerous ones are the quiet ones. Agreed, but it is time to say something. I agree with you, but as I said in the video, I think eventually the dam has to break. I don't think you can just keep all these guys quiet. You can't just keep all your devs like locked in a room. Like eventually you got to let these guys come out and start dropping their trailers and dropping their announcements. And Big Box says, games are the platform, not plastic boxes. Why are enthusiasts the last to learn this? Perpetually confused. Because big first party is what moves the platform. Like that's what moves PlayStation. I get why people are ruffled by the Lego Horizon game. But Liquid Smoke says, I like turtles. Okay, good for you. Thanks for leaving that comment. I think I understand why people have had their feathers sort of ruffled by the Lego Horizon game, but it's not a sign of trouble. Like, Porter Rock is brother to Doc Dark. I've always had good exchanges with Porter Rock. He's a nice guy. I like his videos. He seems just like he just sits down and just kind of tells you what he thinks. And I appreciate that about him. You never have to question what he thinks, even if you don't agree with him. And he doesn't see it the same way. He sees this as the first game. And Doc Dark did another video basically about it, almost like agreeing with his brother, saying, this is one. This is game one. And I don't see it that way. I don't see this as like game number one toward becoming third party. I think that's a massive overreach and not a conclusion that I can come to. I just can't. Like Mario ended up on mobile. Like that's not game number one of Nintendo becoming third party. Let's be real here. Mario did the Mario Rabbids games, like that kind of a joint effort game doesn't suddenly mean that like Mario is just going to start showing up everywhere. I don't think that we can look at the Lego Horizon game and conclude like, yep, this is game number one, PlayStation's becoming third party. It genuinely is completely out of the lane of what PlayStation runs their content with, what they run their platform with. Big tentpole AAA games, that's not a Lego game that you can beat in 8 hours. Like in an interview from the developers, this is going to take about 8 hours to clear. That's not the purpose of this game. This game is not meant to be test number one. Should we start putting our games on Nintendo Switch? You don't understand. You're not listening to Mark Cerny. You're not looking at the PlayStation 5 Pro. You're not paying attention to the trajectory of PlayStation if you think this is game number one. Like, with respect to Porter Rock, it's like you're not paying attention to the trajectory of PlayStation if you think this is game number one. They are not building a future where they can put games on the Nintendo Switch. Like, they're not setting their developers up, their hardware up, or their technology up to be like, oh yeah, by the way, we need the next God of War game, or we need the next, Horizon, or we need the next Last of Us game to also land on the Nintendo Switch. What we're hearing about the Nintendo Switch 2 is that it roughly has the power of the PS4. And it's clear that moving forward with first party, you got to listen to what PlayStation says. Moving forward with first party, they're like, we're not making games for the PlayStation 4 anymore. If they're no longer going to be having their developers make games for the PS4, do you honestly think they're going to be tasked with porting or making games for the Switch? Now, if when they port games to PC, they have games that could successfully be ported to the Switch, you'd have to give me an example of a game that would work with. Because I don't feel like a lot of their games translate to the Switch or translate to the Switch audience. Like, I don't feel like The Last of Us or God of War or Horizon, like the actual full games, those don't translate to the Twitch audience in my mind. The Twitch audience is far more party game, family game, fun game, co-op, like short games. Like, you're not booting up your Nintendo Switch outside of Zelda, right? That would, think would maybe be the exception. But outside of Zelda, it's like you're not typically booting up your Nintendo Switch and playing 20 to 30 hour big, huge, giant open world games. I just don't see it. And Switch is not a competitor either. It's like they're not losing by doing this. They're potentially going to gain people to say, oh, that Horizon property is pretty cool. And now that they're familiar with the Horizon property, they'll pay attention the next time there's a big Horizon trailer. Lego God of War on the Switch next. Lego PlayStation games on Switch could be a gateway to get Nintendo users to get a PlayStation. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a God of War game on the Nintendo Switch. That wouldn't shock me at all. You've already got 2 characters. It's a perfect little co-op game. You got Kratos and Atreus just running around having fun. One has a bow for range. You can throw your axe for range. Like, they would translate really, really well into Lego characters, especially Kratos is bald. I think he'd look hilarious as a Lego character. That wouldn't shock me. That wouldn't shock me one bit if they started leveraging their first party property, because Lego is a mover. Like, they have become something pretty significant in the gaming world. If you've looked at the success of their games and the brands they get to move with, Lego gets to make Star Wars, okay? That's pretty significant. You're like, traditionally, you're not seeing just anybody being able to make a Star Wars game. Now that Disney's in control, obviously they're being a little bit more liberal with who can make Star Wars content or games or whatever, but traditionally, I don't think you saw a lot of Star Wars games, and the fact that Lego got in and has all these Lego sets, and now they've got Lego Star Wars games, and they're hugely popular, I think Lego's got pull in the industry. Exposing younger generations to your biggest IPs is generational play. That's exactly what I said in the video. I said this is a cross-generational strategy, and when I say cross-generational, I'm not talking about hardware, I'm talking about the players. Like, I said that in the video, Eugene. I don't think you're watching the uploads anymore. I said, listen, I think it's a cross-generational strategy. I think they're going for, hey, this guy, me, Lono, this guy's in his 40s. He'll play a Horizon Lego game. He'll play Astro Bot, and so will his kids. Right? And so will his kids. So it's like, that just seems like an easy play to get that younger generation in. I think it's a little bit harder to get the younger generation in with games like The Last of Us or God of War for a variety of reasons. The rating on the game, the difficulty. I mean, there's all sorts of things that might make their mainstay games a difficult sell to the younger audience. Zubair says, if you were going third party, wouldn't you start with your best? Like, if you went to PC, you'd start with Horizon Zero Dawn. You don't start with a Lego game. Yeah, I don't see this as the first. I just don't. I think that view of it is inaccurate. I don't think it aligns with PlayStation's strategy that they've continued to verbalize. Like, you've got to look at all the things that PlayStation has said. Herman Hulst just said what he said about big tentpole titles, and basically said why they bring those titles to PC later, and that was mocked and jeered as like, well, that's a stupid strategy. Who's actually going to go from PC to PlayStation? We've already had that debate, so we don't need to have that debate again. But Herman Hulst says that, and then Mark Cerny does this interview about PlayStation, and now we're in all the rumors we've heard about the PS5 Pro. The PlayStation strategy doesn't align with doing third-party publishing to the Switch. It just doesn't. It's like you wouldn't be able to take what they're asking their developers to do doesn't align with that. William says, did you get a chance to read my long-form post about the 3 Q&As on Lego Horizon? I did not get a chance to read that. I do follow you. I do follow you on Twitter. I put that together the other day. I was like, wait a minute. I was like, he hangs out in the stream. And we've had some really good conversations. I saw your thread. I've been very busy. I did not get a chance to check it out. So you feel free to put some of that in chat. You know, I think that'd add to the conversation significantly. Phantom of the Night says, Lego God of War, Lego Uncharted, Lego The Last of Us. Holy crap, just making Lego versions of these games would actually make a lot of sense. I don't know about a Lego Last of Us, but I definitely think God of War and Uncharted would be perfect. I think that would be, it would be perfect. Those worlds and those missions and things that you go on would make for great Lego games. They really would. Lego Bloodborne. Yeah, there you go. Lego Bloodborne. Yeah, don't forget Mimir. Yeah, the Mimir would just be like the little Lego head on the ground. That's right. Assassin's Creed Shadows looks good. I agree. I think it looks good. I think a port of God of War PS4 to the Switch 2 is definitely possible. I could see that because it wouldn't hurt PlayStation in the slightest, and a lot of people would be exposed to God of War. Okay, I actually think that's not a terrible... that's not a terrible idea, actually. Like, as I'm processing that, we've heard the Nintendo Switch 2 roughly has the processing power of PS4. What's the harm in porting old PlayStation 4 games like the original God of War, the original Horizon Zero Dawn, because they were made on PS4, right? Tsushima was a PS4 game. I think my only thought would be, is there demand for those types of games on the Nintendo Switch? It's not that they couldn't do it. It's not that it would be bad, because, again, they would be older, and the idea would be we're trying to get people to come over. Like, hey, you really like that God of War 2018, and you got God of War Ragnarok over there on the PS5. But again, I just don't know if there's an audience for that. I've continued to say that I don't know if there's an audience for, like, Call of Duty on the Nintendo Switch. I just don't know. I'm not against it, by the way. I'm not against it. I don't care if they put games on the Nintendo Switch. I don't think it aligns with all of the things that PlayStation has been signaling. If you listen to everything they've been signaling about where they want to go, and then you combine that with everything we've heard about the PS5 Pro and the PSSR, the targets that the PSSR is going for. The PSSR technology has targets beyond the PS5 Pro. I believe they're creating a generational piece of cartilage, basically, between the PS5 Pro and the PlayStation 6. Because if you can harness that technology, you'll be able to hit those higher thresholds on the next generation. They're not signaling that, like, oh yeah, we want to start putting our games on the Nintendo Switch. I don't see evidence of that. The lack of games on the platform suggests that there isn't money to be made from those games. The difficulty with that, Zubair, is I don't know if it would be technologically feasible to port most of PlayStation's first-party tentpoles to the current version of the Switch. It's possible. Oh, hang on. The lack of games like that on the platform. Okay, no, that's a very good way of putting it. When you look at the Nintendo Switch and what games are the most popular, it's not games like God of War. It's not games like Horizon. I'm telling you, I don't see PlayStation doing it. And I don't even care if they did. I'm speaking purely from a business angle. I said the same thing about Helldivers 2. I don't care if Helldivers 2 goes to Xbox, because I believe live service games play by different rules. But I always said, I don't think they do it. I don't think there's a business angle. I don't think there's money in it. Lego being multiplat makes sense. I agree, Lobo. Switch sales help establish a footprint in Japan. Is something that I believe PlayStation has always wanted to see increase. They do better in the West and Europe than they do in Japan. That's not that they do poorly, but they have stronger footholds in America and Europe than they do in Japan. At least that's what you guys have always told me every time it comes up. I always assumed being indigenous to Japan would make them stronger in Japan. That's actually more true of Nintendo. They are far more endemic to that culture with respect to how much their hardware has saturated them. That market is crazy. Which kids will love Lego games? Well, here's the other thing that's going to happen. My son keeps asking me about that game. He does. And you want to know what he asked me? This is proof that you can almost generationally inherit the things, the way of the father, right, passes to the son. Like, not the sins of the father, right? I'm saying the way of the father. He says, When's that Lego Horizon game coming? And I said, well, it says holiday. We don't know the exact date yet. And he's like, is it 2-player? That was his first question. Is it 2-player? Because that's the way he's thinking about games now. Because what has he done? He's played games where we play together. We're enjoying Hypercharged, Unboxed. That game's on Xbox right now. I keep telling people to go buy it. It's a blast. I can't wait to play it again this weekend with them. But that was his first question. Is it 2-player? And I said, yep, it's 2-player. I said, and you can also play it by yourself. I'm telling you, when that game comes out, both my televisions are going to be that game. It's going to be me playing with him. My daughter will probably be happily playing by herself. She likes to play games by herself a little bit more. She's just a little bit more independent. She beat Stray on her own. She beat Kirby and the Forgotten Land. She beat that on her own. What was something else that she beat on her own? She was very, very proud of herself. She's beat a ton of games. Oh, she beat Hi-Fi Rush basically on her own. I helped very minimally. So she's a little bit more independent, which that's just her personality. She's going to be like a CEO or something one day, maybe president. But he's a little bit more like me. He's a little bit more like prone to wanting to do like co-op, like wanting to play with another person. So they're going to play Lego Horizon, and they're already familiar with Aloy. Like, my daughter loves Aloy. She thinks she's like, she loves her hair. She's like, oh, that girl with the red hair and the bow. Like, she thinks Aloy is cool, which I think is really special as a dad for her to like have a really cool character that she loves. Because like growing up, like obviously I had tons of video game characters I could love, because you know, gaming for the longest time primarily was having you play as like, you know, the gruff dude, and it's cool to see a character like that rise to so much prominence. But they're going to become even more familiar with that Horizon property, and then that's just going to be their that's going to be their Mario, that's going to be their Metroid, that's going to be their Zelda. These characters, Astro Bot, Aloy, I think it's a smart play to grab that generation. Don't you dare let her become a CEO. She's got to be smarter than that. She already delegates. Like, it's adorable when she delegates. Like, I'm like, I don't scold her for it. I actually praise her for it when she does it. If she does it in a kind way, she'll be doing something and she's like, hey, while I'm doing this, can you do that? And I'm like, yeah, I can. What in the world's happening right now? So I'm like, okay, yeah, you're gonna run a company someday. When Lego launched the Lego Tallneck model, I knew more Lego Horizon items would be coming. I think you're gonna get the big the Thunderjaw, the big one that they show multiple times in the trailer. I guarantee you that set's coming. You can tell by looking at it. You're like, oh yeah, you're gonna be able to buy this. It'll probably come with a mini Aloy and a Varl. Like, Varl and her will come with the set, I bet. Dave Langer left a long comment on the PlayStation video. Guys, do me a favor. Smash like on this video. You're watching a live stream right now. Always remember, when you watch those morning monologues and you leave a comment, you might end up featured in the video. Thunder Maw? I thought it was Thunder Jaw. Anyway, Dave says, so far this year, PlayStation console exclusives have been Final Fantasy Rebirth, Helldivers, Ronin, and Stellar Blade. That's a very strong lineup. Also, for the second half of the year, PlayStation lucked into console-timed exclusives with Black Myth Wukong without even paying for it. Sony is crushing it because most video game fans don't know the difference between first-party, second-party, and third-party games. They just know PlayStation is the console they can play those games on. I think that's a really good point. I think the continued narrative about like PlayStation has no games is only made by people who have to run to like a financial report, and they're like, well, that game doesn't count because PlayStation doesn't own the studio, so Stellar Blade doesn't count, and Helldivers 2 doesn't count, and Final Fantasy VII Rebirth doesn't count, and Grand Blue Fantasy Relink doesn't count. Like, none of these games count. And it's like, okay, so if they have no games, that means they have games to play, you just care about who owns them. Like, I don't think I've ever played a game and thought, yo, that parry in this combat was so good, but it'd be a lot better if the console platform owned the studio. Like, I've never judged a game's quality based on that. Phantom Blade Zero. Yeah, Phantom Blade Zero is coming. I mean, Astro Bot and Lego Horizon are really pleasant surprises for the second half of the year. I'm gonna be honest. Like, I was kind of excited. I was like, wow, okay. Like, that Astro Bot game looks like an absolute blast. I think the only bummer about Astro Bot is there's no co-op, and I know both of my kids are going to want to play. So when Saturday rolls around, I'm going to be I'm gonna be cast to the side. Poor dad. I'm gonna have to like come in the office and, I don't know, play like a peasant on my PC. That's for all the PC Master Race guys. I'm just trying to wake you guys up and make you feel something. MG says, Sony did betray us. I spent €650 for my PlayStation 5 and got nothing in return. Where are the big PS5 exclusives this year alone? What are you talking about? Helldivers 2. I mean, I guess if you have a PC, that doesn't matter to you, but Stellar Blade, FF7 Rebirth, they've had what, 5? I think they've had 5 exclusives just this year in 6 months. I mean, I don't know what you want, man. I don't know what you want. What do you mean? That is ignoring. We're ignoring Returnal. We're ignoring Ratchet. We're ignoring what's the other ones? Let's see here. Ratchet. You're ignoring GT7. You're ignoring God of War Ragnarok. You're ignoring Horizon Forbidden West. What do you mean? Yeah, Rise of the Ronin. I don't understand sometimes. Like, I get people that want their game to come out, right? They want their game to come out. And because their game hasn't come out yet, like, they get upset. Like, I get that. I wanted to see a freaking Ghost of Tsushima 2 announcement as much as the next person. But that doesn't mean that, like, I'm upset. Yeah, Spider-Man 2. I don't get that. I don't get that outlook that, like, hey, where are my games? I've got nothing in return. You bought a PS5. Have you turned it on? Like, you're supposed to plug it in and turn it on. There's tons of games to play that are exclusive and first party. Stellar Blade is currently my favorite game of the year. My game isn't out, so there's no games. Yeah, I'm telling you, like, I get it. I understand. I'm really waiting and hoping for, like, Ghost of Tsushima 2, but that doesn't mean I'm not looking at Astro Bot and thinking, that looks like an absolute blast, dude. I'm gonna have to fight my kids to play that one. Somebody said Rebirth is slop. What? How did it score? How did it score? It's slop? What are you talking about? I thought didn't people say it's like a front runner? It's one of the front runners for Game of the Year. It has a 92 on Metacritic and a 9 from the users. What in the world are you talking about? Come on. Come on. You're just talking to talk. You're not even saying anything at that point. When you get a 9 from the users and a 92 from the critics, come on, bro. That's really, really hard to hold on to on Metacritic. Even if you've got people padding your numbers, holding on to a 92, you're nuts. That's like one of the games people are saying is a front runner for Game of the Year. Oh, it's slop. Your opinion is slop. You gotta drink some coffee. Sober up, bud. You're drunk typing. You're not even making sense. You cannot like it. Good night. I didn't even play it. It's not even my kind of game. It isn't. It's not even my kind of game, and I know that it's good. I'm like, are you kidding me? What? Oh, my goodness. FGPT? Huh? I will say FF7 Rebirth performance mode does suck. I mean, yeah, we could have a discussion about performance modes from, you know, Final Fantasy 16 and that game. Like, I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what they're doing. I really don't. Guys, do me a favor. There's almost 600 of you here. Smash that like button. Give us our first 200 likes. I'm kind of looking at the comments on my latest upload. And Jordan says, a Lego version of Ratchet and Clank. Rift Apart would probably be even better. Ooh, I love that. I love that idea. A Ratchet and Clank Lego game would be a stinking blast. And again, perfect game because you've got a little duo that you can throw at a co-op game, right? You can make the game co-op, make the game really fun. I think that's a smart play. I really, really do. I think that in general, I think that they could take any of the property except for maybe The Last of Us and just be like, yeah, here's a fun little Lego game. We hope you guys enjoy this. You know, I think that there's a lot to be said about that. Again, I think Lego pulls. I think Lego is a good company to partner with. Even if the genre doesn't interest you, you can still acknowledge that the game is good. I mean, I looked at Final Fantasy VII Rebirth and I said, I won't enjoy it, and that's okay. I didn't like Remake. I liked the combat in the first 15 minutes of Remake. And then when I was, you know, talking to Tifa every 10 minutes, I was like, okay, listen, I get this. I know what you're doing, but that's not the kind of game I want to play. It was like, go kill these bugs. Okay, come back and talk. Now go do this thing. Okay, now come back and talk. And I was just like, I don't want to play this. An Astro Bot Lego game. Okay, here's why I don't think you would see Astro Bot ever make the jump. He's kind of becoming I think he's more of like a Mario in that he's directly linked to the hardware itself. Like the PlayStation controllers, all of that stuff is in the game, and he even looks like the PlayStation. I don't think that you would do that. I don't think he would ever make the jump. He's a piece of the property, I think, that would always stay put because he's too brand representative. Like, he represents the actual console itself. Horizon and God of War do that, but when you do a Lego game, it's like, yeah, here's this cool character. Like Aloy and Kratos are in Fortnite, right? It's like, well, yeah, there's the character. If you want to play their games, you got to come over here. That person is speaking pure ignorance. Rebirth is arguably the best game to come out this year. Has the most content. It's okay to not like the game, but to say it's bad is laughable. Cloud Strife, your name clearly says no bias. Well, I mean, come on, look at the review scores. Clearly, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is doing well with people. This guy here says PS Vita on my latest video. He says, I think people forgot or fail to realize how huge ZeniMax and Activision are. Microsoft pretty much own a huge portion of the market. Sony put a lot of effort into service games, which many didn't work out and thus wasted years of development. Many didn't work out? Which ones? What many are you talking about? Which ones? The one they canceled and didn't release? Helldivers 2 is doing very well, sold well beyond what anybody expected. And we'll have to wait and see what happens with Concord. A lot of us are obviously worried about how it's performing, but you're speaking about games. I don't know what games you're talking about. As a result of those things, this happened. A lack of games from Sony or the huge third-party games it would have gotten. It's pretty easy to figure out what happened. I'm just going to say LOL what? Like, what are you even saying? You honestly think that because Xbox has Activision and ZeniMax that, like, so you think PlayStation's what, like fumbling the ball like a nervous person at the dance? They're like, oh, I don't know what to do now. Like, huh? Foam Stars is the only one that flopped? Yeah, for all intents and purposes, it looks like Foam Stars has flopped, although they keep doing events and they keep doing tournaments, which I don't understand. If they don't have a player base, why are they doing that? I can't make sense of that game. You would have thought they would have just walked away from it. They just keep doing stuff with it. Do you think this is all the discussion and turmoil on the internet reflecting on people's buying habits, or this is just a social media thing? Oh, that's an excellently phrased question, Muhammad. Listen, I do not think any of the conversation about this, about Lego Horizon especially, I don't think it represents the market, like, at all. I think even, like, people who right now bought a PlayStation 5 and, like, they want PlayStation games, I don't even think they care. They probably just saw a Lego Horizon game and got excited. Like, I want you to picture the average PlayStation fan watching Jeff Keighley's event. And when that Lego Horizon trailer happens, I want you to imagine that they're excited and then they get angry at the final card when it shows the Nintendo Switch. Do you honestly think that anybody would do that? Think about the people that you know. You're probably friends with, or you work with people who are not they're not as plugged into the gaming world as you are. They're not on Twitter. They don't watch people like me. They're just not interested, right? There ain't no way that the average PlayStation user saw that video and thought, this is great. And then they saw Nintendo Switch and they said, are you kidding me? Like, that didn't happen. It didn't. Because I've talked about this before. Like, I said this last year at PlayStation Showcase. I said, it's a giant L for us, those of us who are super plugged in, and we want all the first-party guys to talk. It's a bummer for us, but the average person doesn't even know what that is. They just watched a showcase and saw a bunch of games and said, that all looks exciting and awesome, and then you capstoned it all with Spider-Man. I think the big miss with PlayStation this year was that you're going into showcase season and you did a state of play. You did a 30-minute state of play. They should have said at the end of that state of play, we hope you enjoyed today's, quick glimpse of a bunch of games coming, and we can't wait to share more from our first-party studios at our showcase later this year. Just one sentence like that would have properly set the context of, like, what did I just watch? Be like, well, you didn't watch our showcase. You didn't watch our showcase. You watched a State of Play. We have a showcase coming. That would have made the event significantly better because, like, everybody was like, wait a minute, what was that? It's showcase season, and you guys did a 30-minute State of Play, and your biggest announcement is Astro Bot? Like, I think Astro Bot has grown in, like, celebration and love, because, like, I think the dust settled, and everyone's like, well, that game actually looks kind of freaking awesome. But I think in the moment, people were like, what the heck is going on? Was that the showcase? That was it? Where are the big titles? Where are the big games? Like, where's Spider-Man? Where are all of the first-party studios? So I think that really set up Astro Bot to sort of not initially, I think initially people like myself, I was like, that game looks awesome. But I had people in the audience, I had people in chat that were like, what the heck? That's it? And they were upset. William says, PlayStation Showcase this September will make everyone's doubts fade away in an instant. It'll blow people away. That's essentially what I said in the video. I said, listen, the dam's got to break sometime. You can't just keep saying, well, here's a game, here's a game, here's a game. No. If you're trying to turn this corner into the second half of the generation and you're also trying to sell this PS5 Pro, you are 100% going to have to just absolutely open the floodgates of first party and just start wowing people again. It's going to have to be like when they announced the PS5. It's going to have to be at that level, I think. Yo, Doc, what's good? Doc, you and your brother got a mention because I strongly disagree with both of you on this. I mentioned Porter Rock and you, and I said, this is not the first game. This is not number one. This is not them moving to third party, because everything PlayStation has been signaling is we are pushing tech. We are pushing PS5 Pro. Mark Cerny, what he said, what Herman Holst said. I don't think the future of PlayStation is, hey, Santa Monica, can you make that game? Can you port your game to the Nintendo Switch? I do not think that's happening. I think you're going to see more Lego games. I think you could probably see a Lego God of War or Ratchet and Clank or an Uncharted. But I do not think, with everything they're investing in with the PS5 Pro and all that we've heard about what the developers have been asked to do, I do not think you're going to ask those developers to make games for the Switch. They've quite literally gone on record and saying they don't want to do parallel development for PC. Why on earth would they do it for the Switch? It doesn't stand to reason. It doesn't make any sense from everything that they've been signaling. If you disagree with me on this, you're 100% wrong. It's okay to be wrong sometimes. I've been wrong before. Right, but what's your argument then, Doc? I think I just laid out a pretty compelling argument that everything Sony's been signaling from a business strategy perspective does not align with asking their developers to port high-fidelity games like Horizon, God of War, The Last of Us 3, Ghosts of Tsushima 2. Like, we know these games are on the horizon. Number one, I don't think there's an audience for those games on Nintendo, because go to the Nintendo storefront. Games like that aren't even over there. There's no audience for it, and the hardware wouldn't even be strong enough. Sony is going to hide behind, it's not a tentpole game, and you guys are going to believe it until it is. Make a compelling argument that their tentpole games could be ported to the Nintendo Switch 2, which is rumored to have the strength of a PS4, and make sense of it from their business strategy. Like, what do you mean? Like, I can't see them asking their developers to do that. Listen, I'm more open to parallel development in the future for PC, because at least their games would maintain fidelity. Look at the games when they get ported to PC. Look at Tsushima. Look at Horizon Forbidden West. Gorgeous ports. They're not going to port those kind of games to the Switch. That doesn't even make any sense. It doesn't. Dark Taco with the 14 Super Chat says, a little off topic, but Lono, do you believe Sony truly understands how many people really want the PS5 Pro? I have many casual gamer friends and family prepared to upgrade. I hope they're ready. I hope they're ready too, because I don't want to wait for one. I don't want to wait for one because of scalpers and all that other dadgum nonsense. They better give preferential treatment to people who own a PlayStation 5. Like, I better be able to log in and be like, yes, sir, thank you, sir, I'll take one. Is this a tentpole game? No, it's not a tentpole game. Go back and listen to what Herman Hulst says. He describes tentpole, big, narrative-driven games. That an 8-hour Lego game, Doc? Come on, dude. You're breaking your own neck, my friend. Like, to try to argue that Lego Horizon is a tentpole game. I mean, come on, bro. Come on. A $10 super chat from Will Lewis says, isn't that the same thing they said about Xbox a few years ago? They'll have all these studios and nothing to show. Now Xbox floodgates are open. PlayStation will have theirs too. Just give it time. I agree. And then D-Tom with 33 months says, my second child was born yesterday. Baby girl, congratulations, D-Tom. Second child, second time I'm listening to you while in the hospital with my newborn. Thank you for the coverage and the awesome community. Well, hopefully listening to my voice doesn't hurt them in any way. Hopefully it helps them as they're trying to just be a baby. It's hard being a baby. It's not easy. I mean, ask the Xbox. I'm just kidding. Doc says, then we are not arguing. I can accept that this is not a tentpole game. Oh, well, yeah. If you go to Herman Hulst's conversation where he talked about tentpole games, this is not a tentpole game. This is like an experimental game. It's experimental. It's like, let's see what happens when we partner with Lego and put an 8-hour game on the Nintendo Switch. Let's just see what happens, right? I agree with what William's saying. He was one of the first people on Twitter to point that out. He's like, there's 3 types of games here, and this one falls into experimental. I agree with that take. I do. Fazimoto with 31 months says, sure, Lono, hope all is well. Oh, sup, Lono, hope all is well. Wife and I are preparing for first child. Haven't been around a lot. Keep up the good work, and thanks for the gift. It's, hey, I don't know what's in the water, but apparently you watch Reforge Gaming, you start making babies, so people are happy and, doing what's necessary to make a baby. So congratulations to all these babies being born. This is awesome. And D-Tom celebrates with a 5-bomb. Let's see some people match his generosity. He just had a baby and he gifted members. Come on, y'all. I want to see some gifteds to celebrate what D-Tom just did. The man himself. One of them went to Jez. If Jez is in the chat. Not Jez Corden. Gaming Grindhouse Jez. Other Jez. I don't know if have you guys picked numbers yet? Or are you Jez 1 or 2? I hope this Lego game is more than other Lego games, just connecting studs and whatnot. No, it looks like it's got like actual combat in it. Kind of similar to some of the combat, in like Minecraft. Minecraft, what was it called? Minecraft Legends? No, Minecraft Dungeons. Is that what it's called? I played it with my son. I can't remember the freaking name of it. Is it Minecraft Dungeons? It reminded me of some of the combat in that. Just don't let them trick you, says Doc. No tentpole games are going elsewhere. They then said they would, then they said to make said tentpole. What? They then said they don't. Then they don't make said tentpole games, just a warning. Dark Taco gifts a member. Thank you so much. No, Doc, I think you're misunderstanding. The strategy with tentpole games is to drive hardware sales. And Herman Hulst made it very clear. We put games on PC with the hopes that those people would then come over to PS5 to play a sequel. That's the strategy with the tentpole games. That does not align with bringing those games to the Nintendo Switch. It doesn't. It doesn't make any sense. You don't have an audience for Horizon Forbidden West or God of War on Nintendo. You don't. Go look at the games on Nintendo. Go look at the games that are made and sell well over there. They're not games like that. They're not these big, giant, graphically intense, open-world, combat-based, narrative-driven games. Like, that is not at all what you see. Risic gifts a member and takes us to 8. All this celebration and gifting members because of babies being born. We love to see it. And then there was a renewal from Chase Irons with 12 months. A whole year. My baby just turned 5 months old. Let's go. All these babies. And then a 5 super chat from William Lewis. Baby making with Reforge's voice in the background. No, I didn't say that. Team Ambush, you understand? Team Ambush said, don't trip, Doc. We will complain if they start tripping. What's the next tentpole game? The next tentpole game is probably Ghost of Tsushima 2. That would be my guess. Is that Ghost of Tsushima 2 is next year? It'll be announced at the showcase, and it's probably coming next year. That's the big next tentpole game. After that, I have no freaking clue what they're doing because they won't tell us. Bend is working on a game. We know that The Last of Us 3 is going to come. There's rumors about a spin-off Atreus game. We know that there's going to be another mainline single-player Horizon game. None of those games will land on the Nintendo Switch. They just won't. Again, if you look at the entire picture of what PlayStation is doing, PlayStation is not using their property to like... Okay, let me make a parallel. When Phil Spencer came out and said, we're going to put some games day and date on PC, okay? That was them saying, we're going to start launching some of our big titles day and date on PC. And then that obviously turned into everything, right? And then this year it was, well, we're going to just do these 4. And now it's, more of our games are going to start showing up on other platforms. PlayStation isn't saying any of that. PlayStation's saying the exact opposite of that. They're saying, we're going to use these games. They're what our identity is around. We're going to bring them to PC later in the hopes that these people might want to play the sequel and then come over to PlayStation 5. This is the literal opposite of what Xbox has done. Now, the Xbox guys are hoping that, no, that's what's coming. That's why the whole day and date thing, when Herman Hulst was like, no, we're not going to do day and date on PC with these games. Shattered. And what did everybody have to do? You did it, Doc. I'll say it. I'll say it in the street with my chest. You said it. Oh, it'll happen eventually. You're just going to hold on to that. You're going to hold on to that. Oh, they're going to do it day and date eventually. I actually think they might during PlayStation 6 do some, but not all. If there's any multiplayer component, I think they'll do day and date. I think. I hear you. I'm not arguing against you this time. I just want you to be smart. What happens if Ghost 2 has a multiplayer live service and it comes to PC day and date? Oh, well, it might launch with Legends attached to it. I don't know if a multiplayer mode automatically means day and date. But they, like the Spider-Man 3, there was the Spider-Man 3 leak from Insomniac that basically said they were going to ship Spider-Man 3 with multiplayer day 1, and it was going to hit PC day 1. So there certainly is the possibility that they say, listen, if there's a multiplayer component, we want it hitting both platforms. I don't think Ghost of Tsushima 2 is going to have a live service multiplayer component. Now, they may have Legends as like the offshoot mode like they did previously. I don't think that means it comes to PC day and date, though. I don't. And I also don't think that Herman Hulst would say what he's saying. We have our live service games, and then we have our narrative-driven tentpole games. I don't think that divide gets like muddied, and he's like, well, Ghost of Tsushima 2 has Legends, so that's a live service game. Like, a live service game is Helldivers 2. It quite literally is built to just be an ongoing game. You're coming in, you're playing, they're adding, they're updating, there's battle passes, right? War bonds. That's not what Ghost of Tsushima 2 is going to be. Like, if you think they're going to start turning their tentpole games into live service games, I don't think so. That's what I'm saying. They have built themselves an out by using tentpole and live service. So technically, they wouldn't be lying. I'm just saying, guys, be smart. You keep telling us to be smart, but you're not making a whole lot of sense, Doc. I'm not sure what you mean. They're creating clear dividing lines between Helldivers 2 and The Last of Us, right? Or Concord and Marathon and Fair Games. Those are all live service multiplayer games. That's quite literally what they're for. And then there are single player narrative driven games. Ghost of Tsushima, Horizon, God of War, The Last of Us. Like, those games are the tentpole narrative driven games. I don't see how you think they're gonna like trick us. I'm not seeing it. There's being smart and thinking you are being smart. They're not the same thing. Yeah, I don't think Ghost will be live service. Even if they do Legends again. Legends is a mode that a lot of people like. Legends is a mode that people like. I think even if they do Legends again, they wouldn't classify Ghost of Tsushima 2 as live service just because there's the Legends mode. I don't think so. That would be very, very weird. 95% of the content for Tsushima is an open world single player narrative driven game. Doc is trying to say they aren't going to make tentpole games. Oh, well, that doesn't make any sense either. That doesn't make... No, we've seen their financial planning. They're going to make more traditional tentpole games than they ever have, and then the other half of the bar was live service games. They've already forecasted the financials. They can't lie to shareholders, yo. Like, Doc, in order for you, if he's correct, if he's picking up what you're putting down, right? If he's picking up what you're putting down, if that's what you're ultimately saying, then they would have to reveal that in their financials. They would have to come out with a new fiscal financial report saying, like, the bar for live service would get much bigger, and then the bar for traditional would get smaller. You know what I'm saying? Is Astro Bot a tentpole game? According to the way that Herman Hulst described it, no. But I think Astro Bot is in its own category because Astro Bot is quite literally, he looks like the console. He rides around on the console. I don't think Astro Bot will land on other platforms. I don't think it'll land on PC. I don't think it's considered a tentpole game. I think it's considered a... I don't even know. He's like a brand ambassador. Not even a brand ambassador. He's basically interwoven into the brand. He's kind of in his own category. He rides around on the controller and the console. Like, I don't think they would put Astro Bot anywhere else. He's not tentpole, but he's also not tentpole either. He's like in his own category. It's like he quite literally represents the console itself. The console's in his game. Like, I don't think they would put him anywhere else. I think that would be weird. Astro's Playroom hasn't gone anywhere else. Sackboy did, but Astro's Playroom hasn't gone anywhere else. Why? Because Astro's Playroom is like the console's mascot. Yes, thank you, Mark. He's basically the console's mascot. I don't think so. Half of Astro Bot's the DualSense. Why would they get rid of that on PC? Yeah, it wouldn't work. Why isn't Astro Bot on PC? Probably because of the DualSense. The only way you'd be able to play the game on PC, Doc, is you'd have to tell everybody to go buy a DualSense controller. That'd be a terrible sale. And again, he's the console's mascot. He's the controller's mascot. Astro Bot is not more brand ambassador than Kratos? No, I said he's not brand ambassador. I walked that back. I would consider Kratos and Aloy and Nathan Drake their brand ambassadors. Astro Bot is a mascot. He quite literally is the console. He's not a he's not like an IP that you're gonna sprinkle around. They literally build his game around the controller. That wouldn't work on another platform. What are you gonna do? You gonna get that game on the Nintendo Switch and what? Get Nintendo to develop a DualSense? You're gonna sell it on Steam and tell everybody they need to go buy a DualSense? That wouldn't make any sense, bro. Doc, you're talking crazy. Kingslayer with a 5 spot. Moving to East Texas by the end of the year to be closer to my 11-year-old girl. She's in jiu-jitsu, volleyball, competitive dance, and in band. You rock, Lono. Hey, dude. You better get in shape if you're not in shape, dude. You're going to be tired every day of your life hanging out with somebody like that. She's gonna freaking make you tired every day. You're not going to know what to do with yourself. So then I would argue Astro is definitely a tentpole game. What are you talking about? If they build the game around the controller and then say it's not a tentpole game, you got to make it make sense. Okay, no, we don't have to make it make sense because what you're doing is you're creating your own categories, which makes it really difficult to understand your position. I'm basing everything off of what Herman Hulst said. And when Herman Hulst was describing tentpole games, he was describing narrative-driven games. He wasn't describing, he was literally, let's see if we can find the exact quote, right? What's the exact quote? I need the exact quote of what he said. Is there captions on this? These guys uploaded all these videos to Twitter, but I don't think they captioned them. I'm gonna see if I can't find a news clipping. Let's see. Reddit had it, but I don't think they had the actual direct quote. Day and date alongside PC, revealed in this strategy. They first launched this. Here he goes. With our tent, right? With our tentpole titles, comma, our single-player, narrative-driven titles that are the backbone of what PlayStation Studios has delivered in recent years and in our history, we take a more strategic approach and introduce our great franchises to new audiences, and we're finding new audiences that are potentially going to be very interested in playing, for example, sequels on the PlayStation platform. He's defining it for you. Astro is not a single-player, narrative-driven title. It isn't. He's the console's mascot. You have to have a DualSense to even play his dadgum game. Like, he's not a tentpole title that they're going to introduce to new audiences to then try to coax them over to the PlayStation. That's what God of War is. That's what Horizon is. That's what The Last of Us is. He defines tentpole right there. Single player, narrative driven title. That's why I tried to tell you at the beginning of this. Astro Bot's in his own category. He doesn't really fit into a neat category because he's a mascot for the console, and you need a DualSense to even play the game. So he can't really go anywhere else. It wouldn't make sense for him to show up anywhere else. Mike says, I bought a PlayStation Portal yesterday. Astro is on the box for it. It's our new mascot, essentially, and fast becoming tentpole franchise. Well, but according to Herman Holst, I mean, it wouldn't be viewed as a tentpole. The tentpoles are the single-player, narrative-driven games that are the backbone of PlayStation Studios. Like, that's how they view it. Where did he say those titles are not going day and date? He said, we're finding new audiences. Where did he say it? He says, we're taking a more strategic approach, okay? And what's that strategic approach? Introduce our great franchises to new audiences, and we're finding new audiences that are potentially going to be very interested in playing, for example, sequels on the PlayStation platform. We have high hopes that we are actually able to bring new players into PlayStation at large, but into PlayStation platforms specifically. Doc, if he needs to literally tell you that means they're not doing day and date, I can't help you, my friend. He's quite literally saying that we bring titles over there hoping that they want to play the sequels over here. And he says, not just bringing them into PlayStation at large, but into PlayStation platforms specifically. He's drawing a distinction. He's saying, we don't just want you to come into PlayStation, because that's what Xbox wants. Xbox just wants MAU. They just want you playing Minecraft. They just want you playing Call of Duty. They don't give a rip where you play. He's saying, no, we want you to come into the PlayStation platform specifically. Where did he say no day and date? Doc, you need to buy a calculator if you don't understand what he's saying. The math doesn't math. How could you do day and date and expect this plan to work? How? How could you do day and date and this plan work? This plan clearly signals we're going to take games over there as a way to coax people to come play the sequel, which means that can't work in a day and date environment. Also, here, let's look at the entire quote, Doc. Let's look at the entire quote, because the word "but" is really going to help you here, Doc. This is going to be the most important "but" in your day today, Doc. This "but" means everything to you. You understand what I'm saying? Pause. All right? Let's read the whole quote, shall we? Indeed, we are bringing our titles to the PC platform, and we have a dual approach here. On the live service side, we are releasing our titles simultaneously, so day and date on PlayStation 5 and PC. But, do you hear that, Doc? I'm shouting just in case you walked away. But, with our tentpole titles, our single-player, narrative-driven titles that are the backbone of the PlayStation Studios have delivered in recent years' histories, we take a more strategic approach. Right? So we do day and date with our live service, but with our tentpole titles, we take a more strategic approach. Well, pray tell, what's that strategic approach, Herman Holst? We all want to know. Oh, well, we introduce our franchises to new audiences, and we find them. We find those new audiences. They are potentially going to be very interested in playing, for example, sequels on the PlayStation platform. Homie, Doc, I love you, but basic English, my friend. Basic English. It's like he's quite literally saying, we do day and date with live service, but with our tentpole titles, we have a more strategic approach. We introduce these new people to our games in the hopes that they come over to the PlayStation platform. And just in case you want to play some kind of vagary with him, he says, we have high hopes that we're actually able to bring new players into PlayStation, not just at large, but into PlayStation platforms specifically. Come on. This is from an investor's earning and strategy call. Right, like he's making it very clear to them, like we aren't doing day and date with our big tentpole titles. We're not doing it. It's contrasted against what they're doing with live service. Come on. Doc, you're making me yell the word butt in my own house. My kids upstairs are like, why is Papa yelling butt? How do they find new audiences? Lego Horizon, boom, checkmate. Y'all hiding behind tentpole? Doc, oh my gosh. You think that's a checkmate? Lego Horizon? It's not a tent. He describes what a tentpole game is, brother. He says, our single-player narrative-driven titles. Lego Horizon quite literally fits into this strategy of, yeah, we're going to find a new audience in the hopes that they want to come over here and play. You got him? What do you mean you got me? You just dumped checker pieces on a chessboard and said checkmate. That doesn't mean you won. You're not making any sense. What do you mean checkmate? Lego Horizon isn't even a game that they're porting. It's just a game that they're partnering with Lego to make, to hit Switch. And they're like, if you really like that property, you got to come over here to play the other games. Do you think Aloy's cool? Do you think those big dinosaur-looking robots are cool? I mean, you got to play them over here. I won. Lego Horizon is literally here to bring a new audience. What are you talking about, dude? You're not making any sense. I truly am lost. Like he says in The Princess Bride, you truly have a dizzying intellect. I don't know what you're arguing now, Doc. I don't know what we're arguing. How is Lego Horizon a checkmate? What are you even arguing? What's your point? Hang on a second. 23 months from Big Juicer. They're finding new audiences by introducing the Horizon world to Switch users and hope that they'll come over. It's not that hard. That's what I'm saying. I don't get this. And Nevenzor did a $2 shit. Don't insult Doc with your money. He's a friend of the show. William Lewis says Horizon's a tentpole franchise. Lego Horizon isn't a tentpole game. It's Lego. Doc's the embodiment of everything wrong with gaming and fans of gaming. The sooner Xbox goes full party so these Muppets can sit the F down, the better. It's exhausting. The troll character is tired. Chill out, Mike. Come on. It'd be the same if Lego partnered with Microsoft to make a Lego Halo game. Yeah, I would be less alarmed by a Lego Halo game than the fact that they're putting frickin' Doom and other first-party titles day and date on PlayStation. That's a sign of publishing. That's a sign of third party. You think a frickin' Lego Horizon game... Good golly, you're starving. If you think a Lego Horizon game is a signal of third party, holy moly. We aren't arguing, Lono. I've just been lied so much by Phil that I don't trust anyone unless they specifically say it. I mean, let me help you out, Doc. Let me help you out. Herman Hulst, when he said this, he wasn't talking to you, and he wasn't talking to me. He was talking to shareholders. And in that environment, you can't lie. You're talking about serious legal trouble if you misrepresent things or try to be vague. You can't do that in those environments. Why do you think the CFO of Xbox was just so straight shooting with those Wells Fargo's guys at the Wells Fargo Summit? He said, you're going to see a change in strategy. You're going to see our games landing on platforms we previously considered competitors. And he named them. He said, like PlayStation and Nintendo. Why did he shoot so straight? Because he's talking to investors and would-be investors. Herman Hulst wasn't talking to us. He wasn't trying to make me feel better about owning a PlayStation. He was talking to shareholders. He can't go in there and lie and be like, well, I'm going to say tentpole, but what I really mean is, yeah, I'm going to trick them. No. He goes in there and breaks it down. We do this with live service. We're going to do this with our tentpole titles, and we hope this strategy brings people over to the platform. And I guarantee you, if somebody asked him, well, what's the strategy with LEGO Horizon? He would say something to the effect of, it is attached to tentpole games on PlayStation 5, and that world and franchise going to the Nintendo Switch has the potential to bring people over to our ecosystem, to bring people over to our platform. He would more than likely say something to that effect, that we're not putting a tentpole title on the Nintendo Switch. We're partnering with LEGO to expose an enormous audience to the world of Horizon, and that world is one of our tentpole titles. But that doesn't make LEGO Horizon a tentpole title. It isn't. It's an experimental game. Like partnering with LEGO, that's a big deal. You might as well be partnering with Star Wars at that point. Like, LEGO's enormous. CEO reports to the board of directors, and the board of directors reports to the shareholders. Right, like when he's doing this call, he's basically creating a paper trail report for the shareholders and the board and all of those people at that level to know what in the world are you doing going forward. He can't like be Mr. Phil Spencer double speak. He has to shoot straight. Why do you think the FTC trial was so illuminating? Like, the FTC trial was illuminating because you didn't get Phil Spencer sitting in a chair being like, just 4 games. No promises beyond that. What'd you get in the FTC trial? You got Phil Spencer walking into ZeniMax and saying everything's exclusive, and the CFO's like, wow. You got the straight shooter. You got the corporate Phil. You got to actually see what this guy does. I can take that LEGO is not a tentpole game. Right, and the real kicker here, Doc, is that the LEGO Horizon game is attached to a tentpole franchise. Aloy is and this is what everybody underestimates. Horizon is insanely popular for a newer franchise. It has done incredibly well for them. It's almost shocking how well it's done, if you think about it. And to attach anything to that, and you're like, oh, these LEGO sets are cool. These LEGO guys are cool. There will be a Thunder Jaw. There's going to be a Thunder Jaw LEGO set. Mark my words. The Tall Neck's not going to be the only Horizon LEGO set. There'll probably be a couple, right? And it'll come with Aloy and Varl. I'm really excited to own that because I love the Tall Neck set. It's right there. It's right there on the ground, right? And there's my Nintendo one, my Mario one, and then all the Star Wars and Yoda and Spidey and all that. But like it's a great set. It's a really, really great set. I'm telling you, you're exposing people to a giant franchise that has been incredibly good for PlayStation. Horizon's pushing 40 million in sales as a franchise. Yeah, that's insane. 40 million. That's nuts. That's nuts. One of the most popular Call of Duties is in like the 30 millions. Like, I want you to really crunch that in your noodle. Like, you're talking about a franchise that has combined sales between its two titles. It's got Call of Duty numbers. That's insane. That is absolutely insane. It was at 32 million last year. It's pushing 40 by now. It's bonkers. It's bonkers what Horizon has achieved. And so when you go and you say, hey, isn't Aloy cool? Isn't this world cool? And you do it to the younger generation, and you do it to an audience, oh, the brilliance of this strategy. The brilliance of this strategy. Really think about this. This just hit me like a lightning bolt. They're going to be selling LEGO Horizon to people who are kind of ready to move on from the Switch or to buy some new hardware. And guess what? The Nintendo Switch 2 is not coming out till sometime next year. That's an awful lot of people on the Nintendo Switch that are going to be like, you know what? I'm kind of in the market for some new hardware. The Switch is getting kind of old. It's a 7-year-old piece of hardware. It doesn't get the greatest performance in games. It's nice, but I'm kind of in the market for something new. There's a lot of people on the Nintendo Switch right now that are probably ready to buy something new or to upgrade or to just expand their gaming experiences, because the Nintendo Switch it's old at this point. It's in the gaming world, in the tech world, it's ancient. It's 7 years old. It's at the end of its life cycle. That's Creature said that? Okay, yeah. It just hit me. I was like, wait a minute. This is a brilliant plan. You're literally putting one of your biggest pieces of property, one of your biggest IPs on the Nintendo Switch at the end of its life cycle. And people were like, this is a really, really cool universe. Oh, yeah? You're probably considering getting some new hardware anytime soon, right? You got that Nintendo Switch. It's kind of getting old, you know? Kind of worn down, kind of scratched up. Might be time for something new. They just got a great touch point. Oh, and by the way, they also have a game hitting PlayStation that looks an awful lot like Mario games to me. Like, it just... Astro Bot screams Mario Galaxy to me. PS5 Pro will come out before the Switch 2, but after Lego Horizon. There you go. There you go. It's like... PlayStation doesn't know what they're doing. PlayStation's stupid, and they don't know what they're doing, and they're going to have to change their strategy, and consoles are dying. I'm sorry. Clip it, call me a pony all you want, right? Name calling is for the weak-minded. The unbelievable long-term strats that they've been putting into place, it makes sense why they don't talk. It makes sense because you can't show your cards if you're thinking more long-term. You can't announce your PS5 Pro too early. You can't let people see games too early. You can't. Horizon gets overlooked because it's always launching alongside something else. That is true. Horizon really has... What's insane about the success of Horizon is it launched right around the same time as Breath of the Wild, and then right around the same time as Elden Ring. You want to talk about David versus Goliath. Good night. As far as media attention goes, you launched around the same time as The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, probably one of the single greatest Nintendo games ever made. You launched around the same time as Elden Ring, the magnum opus of FromSoft and Miyazaki. Okay, yeah, good luck. Jiminy Christmas, they had the deck stacked against them on both of those launches. Oh, you said that, Trill? Sorry. I remember rushing through the first Horizon game to get ready for Zelda, and I had people that were really angry with me about that. They're like, wow, you're rushing through this good game. Hirahi with a 10-spot super chat says, I have a question. In my opinion, the PlayStation brand will highly concentrate to be the GTA 6 console with exclusive content bound to the PS5. So wouldn't that make sense to coordinate with Rockstar? I don't know about that. I don't know about that. I definitely think they're going to try to make the PlayStation 5 Pro the best place to play GTA 6, but I don't know if they're going to like partner and do exclusive content with GTA. We'll see. Guys, do me a favor. Great conversation, great debate. Doc knows I love him. He always comes from different perspectives and different vantage points, and it ends up being spicy. It ends up being a good time. I hope you guys were entertained by that. If you've been enjoying the show, take a quick second. Hit that like button. There's like over 600 people here. We could easily have over 300 likes. Let's set our sights on 300 likes. And you guys are now working on the stretch goal. 8 members on the day. You need like 80 something. And then my wife gets to mess with me on Friday night when I'm playing the scary game. The last time we did this, you guys loved it because I can't see what she's doing. We're intentionally picking scary VR games so I can't see what's going on in the room around me. Perfect Image with a $2 super chat. Sony owns DICS, and they just bought Theater. No one knows. I'm not sure what you're referring to. Welfare Rockstar with 24 months in a VIP. I really hope the Switch 2 with a higher frame rate is a thing so you can play Tears. Truly a work of art. I've been saying that for a while. I really hope that ends up happening. William says, and as soon as they get all the new kids to PS5 and PS5 Pro from Lego Horizon, all the adults will buy the PS5 Pro when they see GTA 6. You think I should do Madison VR? Are there any other really good scary games on VR on the PlayStation? I could obviously do them on Steam as well. Is the PSVR 2... I could just use the MetaQuest 3 on my PC if I need to. Zubair says, if you're PlayStation, you are moving consoles 3-1. Do you need to pay Rockstar a ton of money to get exclusive content? That's what I'm saying. I don't know if they're going to do that. I think they'll try to position the PlayStation 5 Pro to be the best place to play GTA 6, but I don't think they're going to want to pay Rockstar an exclusivity. That'd be expensive. I just don't know about that. In 3 to 4 years, all games will be on all platforms besides Nintendo. Cost is increasing, and to compete, it will be a must. I think that prediction and take is one of the most inaccurate things I've seen people say, and the only reason people started saying it is because Xbox is doing it, and they have to create a world and a future that makes Xbox look normative instead of completely out of step with what the main platforms are doing. I do not see a world where PlayStation asks their studios to do multi-platform parallel development for the Xbox and PC. None of their developers are built for that. You understand that in 3 to 4 years, for what you're saying to come true, they would have to be making logistical changes literally right now, because that would be games that are being built right now. You think in 3 to 4 years, all games will be on all platforms. That means that whatever they're building right now will land in your prediction. Your prediction could not be more easy to prove false. Every single one of these developers would be completely changing their logistical structure. They would be hiring to do parallel development. They would be having to set up infrastructure to build the next Last of Us or the next God of War or the next Spider-Man or the next whatever. All those games would have to be being built for the Xbox Series X and the S and PC at the same time, when quite literally they just said to shareholders that the plan going forward is to continue to not do that. They will not be doing day and date. They're doing day and date with live service, and their tentpole titles will continue to come out first and then go to PC later. And there isn't a world where it makes sense to spend production dollars and bandwidth making a PlayStation game for Xbox. There is literally no way. You're literally arguing that it's becoming more expensive to make games, so let's make it more expensive to make games and then put them on platforms where they won't sell well. Do you know what I'm saying? It's already incredibly expensive to make games. You think they're going to want to add production costs and be like, oh, and also it's going to take longer for the game to come to market if you don't just make it for PlayStation. Now you also have to make it for Xbox. That's never going to happen. There's no business angle in Sony spending all that extra money and time to put games on Xbox. And they're certainly not going to shift their studios into parallel development. Sony just cast a vision for the next 10 years, because all the games they're building right now, they all fall under what Herman Hulst just outlined. So I don't know what world you live in where you think they're just going to shift to parallel development overnight. They put almost all their games on PC after those are not made for PC. I think it will happen. Do you know how they do that? Are you aware of the technological process that brings that about? They use porting companies like Nixxes to do that. They're literally taking a complete product and then bringing it to PC later. And Herman Hulst just told shareholders and upper management of the company, the people that are interested in where you're taking this company in the future, and he's like, we're doing that so that they hope to come over here and play sequels. They're not doing parallel development right now. And if they shifted to parallel development, you'd have evidence of that. They would discuss that in their earnings. They'd discuss that in their investments. They'd be like, we're going to have to bolster our studios, hire up, and get more people on staff in order to do parallel development so that games could hit day and date on PC. They're saying none of that. And look who's been doing it, and look how long their games take to come to market. Xbox pushed out the idea that games are always going to land on Xbox and PC, and then they pushed out a 2-tier hardware setup. And look how long it takes for their games to come out, and then when they come out, they're not even ready. Like Redfall, Starfield, and Forza Motorsport. Those games weren't ready for launch. Look how much they've done to fix Starfield. Forza Motorsport was a disaster, and so was Redfall. You don't want your studios in that situation. It's terrible. It's not gone well for Xbox doing that. It's going to continue to be a struggle. Guys, can we get 15 more likes on the video? Y'all are the best. 285 likes. Smash that like button. Y'all are the best. Is there confirmation GTA 6 will run on the Series S? If it can't, will it release on the Series X only? I have no idea, Mediocre Milton. I have no idea. I don't know what's going to happen there. Like, all the people that are like, GTA 6 is going to be a crazy big game. It's going to be 30 FPS everywhere. It's not even going to run 60 on the PS5 Pro. And I'm like, I'd be worried about that Series S if I were you. You guys are out here focusing all your attention on what GTA 6 is going to do on the strongest console in the market. Like when the PS5 Pro comes out, it'll be the strongest. You're worried about that. I'd worry about the weakest console in the market if I were you. Worried about the PS5 Pro? What? Why? Black Myth Wukong is having to come to Xbox late. It's like the third or fourth game this year, and you're worried about the PS5 Pro? Okay. Oh, okay. You're worried about the wrong thing, brother. Xbox players will be mad if the Series S keeps them from getting GTA 6. You got Baldur's Gate 3 late. You're going to get Black Myth Wukong late. There was at least 3 other games this year that are like, the Xbox version is going to have to come later. I mean, I don't know. Dev's fault, right? I just want a shirt that says Dev's fault. It's the dev's fault. It's always the dev's fault. Yeah. It's amazing. That entire dialogue is just amazing to me. Wukong is Unreal 5. That creates limitations on scalability. Rockstar may not have that issue. Yeah, I mean, my hope is, all the dialogue around 60 FPS with Rockstar and with GTA 6. My contention has been that they experimented in GTA 5 to figure out how to make it possible. That's been my thought. Now, on the subject of the video that I uploaded, Lance here asked a question. He says, genuine question, why does Sony need to do a showcase when expected? Not saying Reforge implied this in general, I'm just putting it out there. Going to play devil's advocate. Number one, the pandemic broke the showcase rhythm we had. And then following up on the first point, Sony seems to have hit a good rhythm with their own announcing games. Can they do no wrong? Certainly they can. But they've earned the power through right now. It's almost redefined a lot of things, including rhythm. They definitely march to the beat of their own drum. And it can be offbeat sometimes. I do. I think PlayStation, when it comes to announcements and showcases and all of that, they march to the beat of their own drum. And I feel like the drum's a little bit offbeat sometimes. We're like, yo, what the frick are y'all doing? Like, Xbox comes out and it's just like, boom. And all these other companies are trying to make announcements, and PlayStation's just like, yeah, we're just going to do a state of play. Yeah, Astro Bot's our show ender, and we're gonna and Lego Horizons our other big title, and it's gonna land on the Nintendo Switch. And everyone's like, man, what the frick are y'all doing over there? And then when you stop and you kind of think about it, you're like, well, you know what? Actually, I think this is gonna work out really well for them. Wait, it's like they literally just do their own thing. And that's why I included that in my video. Since the time that they said we're not coming to E3 anymore. Since that time to now, they just do whatever the frick they want. They're like, no, we're not doing that. No, we're not going to do a showcase. No, we're not going to do that. It's like they just decide when they're going to talk and how much they're going to say. And it's irritating when you're super plugged in. I remember how they handled the God of War Ragnarok marketing. I literally have a stream on this channel where I'm like, dude, I am annoyed. They'd have outlets like Game Informer saying, we're going to have brand new gameplay from God of War Ragnarok. And it would be like 15 seconds of new gameplay. And then they would just slap it in there with all the existing B-roll that we had seen. And I'm like, what? Huh? Why? Huh? What? Like, it was like, what are y'all doing? Well, they can do whatever they want. It's like they don't answer to what the consumer is out here screaming for on Twitter. And I think that's starting to frustrate people. That's why when they see Lego Horizon, they get irritated because they're like, well, that's not what I want you to do with the brand. We should just shore up everything and not go anywhere. Like, I don't see it that way. I don't see the Lego Horizon game as a betrayal. I'm sorry to do this. I promise I'll stop after this. Is Lego Horizon a Horizon game? See, I know what you're doing, Doc. I know what you're doing because there's guys out here that are like, it's a Lego game. It's a Lego game. It's both. It's both. It's a Lego game and it's a Horizon game. It's both. All these guys that were like, it's a Lego game, and it was Lego's call, and this is not a PlayStation thing. Oh, stop it. You ponies, quit. Just be honest about it. It's a Horizon game. It's also a Lego game. The Guerrilla developers were like, hey, we wanted to do this. Like, I want you to put yourself in the mindset of Guerrilla. They've created this incredibly popular piece of property, and it's also done very well on PC. Okay? And you're entertaining making a Lego game and selling it on a platform where there's like 130 million people. And you're like, yes, but PlayStation. No. Guerrilla's like, let's do it. That sounds awesome. They don't care. They don't care. They're not worried about that. They're not like, oh, but the console and the PS5. Oh, no, Guerrilla's like, dude, that sounds dope. Let's do it. If it serves the aim of getting the property in front of more people and potentially bringing more people to their big titles, to Forbidden West and Zero Dawn, Guerrilla's all about it, dude. You're talking about working with Lego. You know what I'm saying? It's like the big brand deal falls in your lap finally. Like, there's no way they would be like, oh, I don't know about that, man. The PS5 console loyalists might get upset. It's freaking Lego, bro. Are you kidding me? Like, if Lego comes knocking, they're not a brand that you get stingy with or you get stubborn with. You're like, no, this all sounds great. Now, clearly, PlayStation came to the table and said, listen, we do have some stipulations here. This cannot be developed for the PlayStation 4, and it can't go to Xbox. And they got their way because they're not doing any first party right now. All future first party games from PlayStation, they have left behind the PS4. That page has turned. And they don't want to muddy that and make that confusing by suddenly having a Horizon game land, a new Horizon game land on PS4. And they obviously don't want their property on Xbox. Like that, they're not interested in that. So PlayStation did, it's clear they negotiated some of the terms, but they also were like, it's not a threat. They're not a competitor. When we get a Play-Doh game, I don't think Play-Doh has quite the pull that Lego has. I actually agree with that answer. Yeah, like, Doc, I know you are out here in the trenches and the horse stables arguing with these ponies about this because they're like, it's not a Horizon game and this was a Lego decision. Oh, stop it. No, quit. You're making yourself look silly. It's a Horizon game. It's also a Lego game. The developers wanted to do this. Like, it's not they didn't get their arm twisted. Like, Lego walked in the room and was like, hey, you're going to make this game for us. I think the decision to not put it on PS4 is just burning money. Oh, for sure. For sure. That's a lot of people, Kirk. Doc says, Lamau, you ponies quit. Let's go, Villain Arc Lono. Trust me, it'll be better. Change that background to green. It'll look better. If I go on my Villain Arc, I'll make it red, and I'll scorch all y'all mother... No, I'm just kidding. Nobody's safe, Doc! I'll do it one day. I'll scorch everybody, and then I'll just shut down and be like, that's it, I'm out, I retire. And you, and I can't forget about you. Everybody out here doing their villain arcs, I'm jealous. I'm like, man, I wish I could just absolutely torch the world and hurt my brand and and be a jerk, but I can't do that. I'm a little jealous, you know? I'm a little jealous. Like, everybody's out here getting punched in the mouth. Like, everybody's out here getting punched in the mouth. Yo, William with the $2 super chat. Whatever happened to the planned Funko Pop game? It's coming, isn't it? Isn't it coming this year? A Funko Pop game. It's like Funko... Funko Fusion is what it's called. Its planned release is September the 13th. It's a multi-platform release. Yeah, Funko Fusion is the game. And I'm seeing a release date of September the 13th. Their website says September the 13th. You can wishlist it on Steam. It's hitting Xbox. It's hitting PlayStation. Yeah, that game looks like it's going to be a blast. Funko might be able to, move into the gaming space with those kind of games. They're fun. Fun little adventure games where you can play as like He-Man and all these characters from all these different movies. Like, come on, man. People are going to dig that. They got Five Nights at Freddy's in there. I'm seeing Jurassic Park. I'm seeing, oh my gosh. What was the British comedy zombie movie? Oh my. Can't think of the stinking name. Why don't games sell well? Shaun of the Dead, thank you. I couldn't think of it. Why don't games sell well on Xbox? Their value proposition and their platform's identity is centered around not buying games. Boy, that's I feel like that's just readily visible. I mean, it doesn't help that their hardware saturation's bad, but their value proposition for the last 4 years has been, come over here, you don't have to buy games. I don't get why people are doing like a surprise Pikachu face on that. I don't get it. You literally, your fan base for the last 4 years has bragged about the fact that they don't have to buy games. They clamor to Twitter and say, is this coming to Game Pass? I'll wait for it to come to Game Pass. That's you built that culture. Doc says, I don't see it. You seem to like taking the high road. I don't know how you keep doing it. It's not by my own strength, Doc. Let the hearer understand. It's not by my own strength. Trust me. There is another version of me from about 10 years ago that would have verbally murdered everybody by now. But I am not that man anymore. He still rattles around in the brain and says, we should do it. We should get all of them. And I'm like, no. The prudent man ignores the insult, Kirk says, I will say every time I want to play a last-gen game, I look up whether it's better resolution and frame rate on Xbox, and it typically always is. I mean, they did a really good job with backwards compatibility and FPS boost. They did a really good job with that in the beginning of the gen. Like, I remember playing Titanfall 2 and a Battlefield game, and I was like, man, this is awesome. Lono has been purged by the fire of orbital nuclear bombardment. Games sold on Xbox make up less than 10% of the global sales on that and the platform is already the smallest on Earth. Yeah, I mean, wear it. I just don't get why people won't wear it. Like, wear it. If you're a big Xbox fan, you got an Xbox podcast, you should be happy. You should brag about the fact that you have the least amount of sales every time. Why wouldn't you brag about that? I don't understand. Brag about it. Wear it. Put that badge on your shoulder and be like, yes, we don't buy games over here. Just do it. Stiffen your spine, stand up straight, and own it. That's the brand's value proposition. Like, I don't get that. It's like, oh, your Game Pass. We get it on Game Pass. Day one on Game Pass. And then you don't want to wear it proudly that y'all don't buy games? Wear it proudly. Like, have some courage. You know what I'm saying? Where's your spine? Just stand up proudly and say, yeah, you're darn right we're always the lowest on the sales charts. We don't buy games over here. Like, I don't understand. Why does that always have to act like, oh, no, own it. Frickin' own it. I don't, you know? Just start a podcast called Waiting for Game Pass. Welcome back to WFGP, where we wait for Game Pass. Do we buy games? Hell no. Do we play games? You betcha. But we're waiting for Game Pass. Just do it. Own it. I don't get what the big deal is. It's part of the brand. It's part of the culture. I just do it. Just stand up. Say it with your chest. Like... I mean, I did buy games until I realized I don't want a library on Xbox. Yeah, you know, like that. I don't get it. I've never understood why people shy away from that. It just do it. Start that show. No satire. Just start the show. Make it. Somebody start that podcast. Hey, Steve, you gonna play this game? Oh, you know, baby, we're waiting for Game Pass. Like every episode could just be a gold mine of hilarity. Every game announcement. Yeah, that game looked good. That looked good. But I'm waiting for Game Pass. It doesn't matter. That's limitless content. That's limitless content. Now do a 1940s wartime voice. We're waiting for Game Pass, see? And that means when games come, they gotta come to Game Pass, or we don't play them. All right, up next on the docket. hot off the presses. New channel name announcement, boys. Waiting for Game Pass. That's what I'm saying, dude. I just wear it. I do. I have Game Pass. I do. I use it. Which is why I was really glad that Hypercharged. I was glad it wasn't on Game Pass, because I think that's a game people should buy. I think people should support it. Is that why Final Fantasy Rebirth sold so well? Why would you do whataboutism about one title that's not even a first-party PlayStation title? Do you want to talk about how well Final Fantasy's done on Xbox? I mean, do we really want to start comparing? Like, go for it. We got it, boys. We got them. We got them. We got one game that didn't sell well. Hoo-hoo, smoking gun. Okay, well, let's pull the sales reports. How well did Final Fantasy do on Xbox? Oh, boy. A 5 spot from James Ray. Off topic, I mainly listen to you on Spotify, but sometimes it takes almost a week for a new upload. Is it possible to get them uploaded by the next day? That shouldn't be happening. That should not be happening. They should be hitting very, very close together. All right, I'm looking at May 27th, June 3rd, June 4th, June 5th, June 6th, June 12th. Okay, there were 6 days in between showcase predictions and showcase reaction, but I think that's how it went. I think that's how it went. It is happening. Is stuff not hitting in a timely fashion over there? We're using a different distributor now for the podcast. I don't know if that's causing an issue. Yeah, all the live events are why there's such a big buffer. Yeah. We just had a bunch of live events where we didn't do talk shows, homie. Yeah, there's a big gap between June 6th and June 12th because it was nothing but live events. I was just sitting here covering live event shows that we don't upload that. That's not a podcast. That's just me sitting watching a show that ends up getting muted because of all the copyright claims. So it looks like everything else has been hitting in a timely fashion. Like I'm seeing Microsoft killed Xbox on the 13th, and then what is Project Latitude on the 22nd? I also took a vacation in the middle of May, so there would have been a week gap there as well. FF7 Remake sold 7 million, 6 on PlayStation and 1 on PC. Final Fantasy 15 is even more on PlayStation favor. Good like selling Final Fantasy on Xbox. I'm not sure what you're trying to say elsewhere broadcast. In your humble of opinions, do you really think that Bungie was a good investment for Sony after the lukewarm zero hype for Marathon? It's hard to hype up Marathon. We don't know anything right now. It looks to me as if Destiny has had the results that they needed to have. Their recent DLC has done quite well, which that's more very valuable information for the Center for Live Service Excellence. Like that's what Bungie was primarily hired for. Bungie was not hired for their ability to make Marathon. They were hired for their intel, their data over the last decade of keeping a live service game going. And the fact that they just pulled their game out of the fire again for like the 5th time. You want to talk about a company that's worth their weight. If you want to know how to do live service, Bungie's the guy. They're the guys. Bungie is him. Like, you go to them. I think people are completely missing the mark. Bungie has quite literally kept a live service game going for a decade. They've had near-death experiences with their game, and you're like, why would PlayStation buy them? Oh my gosh, they're the champ. They're Rocky Balboa. They won't go down, dude. What do you mean? I despise that company. I can't stand them. Their hubris and their virtue signaling and the way they treated me, they're gross. But they're the champ when it comes to live service games. They're the freaking champ. They got a big, huge belt that they get to wear and strut around with. You want to do a live service game? Talk to them. Jiminy Christmas. In the 10 years that their game has survived, there are dead bodies around them of live service games that have been like, we're going to try, we're going to, like all these dead games. And they're still standing. The fact that people get upset with Bungie, to me, is because you're angry about the Last of Us factions. It's an emotional response. It's an emotional response. You're upset about the Last of Us factions getting canceled. And instead of looking at that logically, you want to blame Bungie. And it's like, they quite literally came out, Naughty Dog quite literally came out and said, if we were to do this, we'd have to become a live service studio, and we don't want to do that. Do you want them becoming a live service studio? Do you want them doing that? Look at what the team from Helldivers has had to go through. It's quite literally a team that does nothing but support Helldivers, and even they struggled. And even they're talking about how they're going to need to grow, and they're going to have to slowly hire. They don't want to overhire, right? Naughty Dog's like, we don't want to become a live service studio. And I don't want them to become a live service studio. Are you freaking kidding me? If I had the choice between factions and Naughty Dog continuing to do what Naughty Dog is known for, are you kidding me? Every day of the week, I'm going to say cancel factions. Get it out of here. I said for the longest time that Naughty Dog was going to have to eat humble pie, because they saw what Fortnite did, and the Division did the same thing, by the way. Oh, we can take a game mode and we can turn it into a game. No, you can't. No, you can't. The Division was trying to do that with Heartland. Oh, Division was popular with survival. That survival mode was really popular. Let's just make a game that is survival. And Naughty Dog had the same hubris with Factions. They thought, oh yeah, we can take our game mode and turn it into a game. No, you can't. Nope. You're crazy if you think you can pull that off. Fortnite's an anomaly. And these other battle royales that made it, are you kidding me? How many battle royales didn't make it? There's like 10 failed battle royales for the 4 mainstay ones that we have now. So people are only angry at Bungie because they have this emotional response to like, well, I'm angry that Factions got canceled. And because Factions got canceled, I'm going to blame Bungie. And it's like, Bungie probably spared Naughty Dog. They walked in the room and said, sober up. You don't have any clue what you're signing up for. You don't have a clue what you're doing. And Naughty Dog was like, you're right. Gifted member from John Lepkowski. John, I've seen you asking about struggling to upgrade. Buddy, I'm in the middle of a live show. I can't help you upgrade. We've got a command that will help you do it. You have to do it on a browser. You have to do it. You can't do it through Apple. It won't let you a lot of the times. The Apple app doesn't let you. So you have to do it through a web browser. I can't help you beyond that. I'm like, literally, I'm in the middle of a live show. I can't troubleshoot YouTube being stupid. Like, YouTube is very, very, I'll admit to you, YouTube's dumb when it comes to upgrading your memberships. They make it really, really difficult. And I can't help you with it other than to say what I just said. If you get into our Discord, maybe somebody there could help you. The Discord, we've got community reps in there that could help you out. Kingslayer with a $2 super chat tip. I think Marathon gets canceled for All Hands on Deck D3. I'm 50-50 on Marathon, if you want my honest opinion. I'm 50-50 on it because they changed directors and they changed direction. We have no idea why Chris Barrett's not on the project anymore. Like, it was like his baby and now he's not on the project. What? Why didn't you announce that? What in the world's going on? And then the new guy that takes over, he's from Riot, and he's allegedly, according to sources, changed it into a cast of heroes for an extraction shooter. I actually have more confidence in Marathon than I do Concord. Marathon could bring hero shooter to extraction and do it successfully, right? Like, Apex brought hero shooter to Battle Royale. Valorant brought hero shooter to tactical econ-based game like CSGO. Like, bringing hero shooter to a genre, that could work. But Concord's just another 5v5 hero shooter. Like, I don't know. All these other games coming. Even Frag Punk, the game from the Xbox showcase. What the heck? What are we doing? Why is everybody chasing this trend? Because I guess people thought that like Overwatch was falling from grace. It was time to strike while the iron was hot. Like if Blizzard can't keep it going, what, you think you're going to figure it out? Like, okay, good luck. Good luck. Good luck getting and maintaining a player base with a genre that already exists. There's already games like that. Heavy Metal Mama with 21 months says, 21 months, much love. Thank you. Guys, we got 20 minutes left in the show. We haven't hit the 25 yet, and you guys need like 80 something for the stretch goal. Let's hit it. Let's go. Let's get this going. Let's get the like count going. Let's set our sights on 400 likes. Strong turnout today. Thank you guys so much. Factions being canceled is due to how low player base numbers were back in 2014. Factions was never going to get greenlit. I don't agree with that. I don't think they said... Well, I don't think they said, well, 9 years ago the player base wasn't strong enough. Like, in 9 years, everything changes. Factions was quite literally canceled because Naughty Dog had a wake-up call. Like, Bungie walked in the room and smacked them on the face and said, you have no idea what you're signing up for. You guys you'd have to turn the entire studio into a support studio for this game. Where's your content? Where's your content rhythm? How are you going to get people to come back? Angry Pete says, let's go. And he kicks it off with a gifted member, taking us to 10 members on the day. Thank you so much, Angry Pete. And a 5-bomb comes in from Siege Master and puts us within 10 of the 25. Thank you so much. Tempting a 10-bomb dunker. Thank you, Siege Master. Fragpunk is bringing Hero Shooter to Rogue, deck building with card modifiers. I mean, maybe it has a chance then, Kirk. I don't know. Why do you think they smacked them? Because it didn't survive back in 2014 with 10K players? Here's the problem with what you're saying, Liquid Smoke. We have no evidence for what you're saying. What we have evidence for is Naughty Dog came to the conclusion that in order to pull it off, they would have to turn into a live service studio, and they didn't want to do it. Like, what you're doing is you're projecting onto it, well, it only got this many players, and that's the reason why they canceled it. What? They got those many players, and it was seen as a cult hit, which is why they thought it would be successful. What you're arguing is backwards from what happened. It actually was popular and shouldn't have been. It was just an offshoot mode in a single-player game. Joker Quinn with a gifted member takes us to 16 members on the day. Thank you so much, sir. And a 2-spot from your father. Do you think the new Fable Avowed will come to PlayStation? Yeah, probably. Yeah. I don't think you have games in development for that long. This is what I think is going to happen with a lot of those titles. I think they're going to all follow a similar pattern. It's going to be similar to what we're seeing with like Starfield. You're going to launch it, you're going to spend a year fixing it, making it better, and then you'll port it. Like if Avowed comes out and has rough spots, or if Fable comes out and has rough spots. Yeah. I mean, Fable's taking so long to come out, it might launch as a multi-plat. I don't know. I mean, think about it. How long we heard about Fable? No, actually, no. Fable's next year. No. I take that back. Fable's next year. That's right. They said 2025 in the most recent showcase. So, Fable probably launches Xbox PC and then comes to PlayStation later. If I'm Microsoft and I look at the development timeline and the development bandwidth and the production costs of games like Fable, I'm saying, how quickly can we get that on PlayStation? Like that to me just makes sense. Starfield got announced to be ported. No. I've just been consistently saying that based on what we've heard, it's coming. Starfield's coming. I think it's going to get announced after Shattered Space. I think that gets announced and handled next year. They're going to spend the remainder of this year making Starfield a better game and fixing things. They'll deliver Shattered Space. I'm hoping Shattered Space is like a Phantom Liberty moment for the game so I can play it on my Series X. And then I believe that's when you'll start to see they'll shift from that to getting it ready for PlayStation. Yo, Bumble Pants with a gifted member. Thank you so much. Taking us to 17. Starfield's running and playing great. Yeah, I'm just going to wait for Shattered Space. I want them to tighten as many bolts and smooth as many edges as they can before I come back. Your father gifts a member and takes us to 18 members on the day. You guys are getting closer and closer to 25. Every 25 members, I give 5. And I appreciate you guys supporting the channel like that directly. You gifted a member to somebody. Is that, I believe that looks like Korean to me. Does Starfield have a solid audience of fans? Not good, but solid. The latest update has made everybody pretty angry from what I saw. So I don't know. I think Concord is for people who couldn't play Overwatch at a reasonable time, and now everybody on Overwatch is like platinum players, so it's like a clean, fresh start. I mean, Concord seems to be far more gun-based, far more shooting, but I don't know. What are they angry about? I don't know. I saw people saying it was getting downvoted on Steam. They're upset about something with the, is it something with the microtransactions or something? I saw a report that it's getting like downvoted on Steam. I'm like, what in the world's everybody ticked off about? I thought everybody was happy with what they were doing. Do you think that there's a world where they keep Starfield and Indiana Jones exclusive to save face but port everything else? Save face? But what do you mean save face? A 5-bomb from Sheriff Bruce Lee takes us to 23 members on the day. Thank you so much, Sheriff Bruce Lee. What do you mean save face? What? Save what face? I mean, if they're considering bringing Halo, if that happens, Kirk, then what is there to save? Like, what? At that point, it's just like, if that is actually happening, if the Halo Combat Evolved rumors come true into Starfield and Indiana Jones, who cares? Gifted member from Zubair, bumping the line to 24. Thank you so much, Zuby. They're selling missions. There's a $7 quest for Starfield. Right, but isn't that designed by a person and not Bethesda? And Kingslayer gets us to 25. Thank you so much. I'm going to gift you guys 5 members. I now owe you 5. I don't understand. Isn't that how the Creation Club works? Somebody builds something and sells it? Why would people be upset about that? I don't understand. Isn't that the entire point of the Creation Club? I feel like they have heavily implied they would not put Starfield on PlayStation. Where have they heavily implied that, Kirk? Where? When Phil Spencer directly was asked about Starfield and said that there's no reason to take anything off the table. That's a paraphrase, but he basically was like, there's no reason to take anything off the table at this point. There it is, Agent of Chaos, Siege Master, pushes us past. Thank you so much, sir. All right, see you later, Incoherent Rambler. The whole podcast they did? No, the podcast that literally an hour later had interviews where he was like, yeah, nothing's off the table. Come on. Look at what's been going on, Kirk. They do that podcast, like, only 4 games, no promises beyond that, and then he sits down with IGN and he's like, yeah, you're going to see more of our games on other platforms. Look how fast it's changed. That podcast doesn't mean anything. That podcast was quite literally a Band-Aid. That was a PR Band-Aid. This is boiling over. We've got to do something. We got to speak to this. Think about it like this, Kurt. The rumors were Starfield and Grounded and Hi-Fi and Sea of Thieves. And we were told, no way. And Phil Spencer goes to Windows Central when the CFO said what he said in November. And Phil Spencer goes to Windows Central and does damage control and says, we have no plans to put Game Pass on PlayStation and Nintendo. And all the Xbox guys ran victory laps and said, see, told you, you ponies, you're not getting any of our games on your system. It was called Hopium. January rolls around and the rumors hit a fever pitch. It's like, what in the world? All these games are being considered? Are you crazy? We heard Halo. We heard Doom. Remember when we heard Doom? Do you guys remember? And everybody said, no. ZeniMax are exclusive. Phil Spencer said it. He said it privately. He said it publicly. No, that rating site is wrong. Doom's not going to PlayStation. Like, look at how fast all of that dialogue has changed. For anybody to be like, oh, I don't think Starfield's coming. They said in that podcast. They didn't say anything in that podcast. They put a Band-Aid on this situation to calm everybody down. Nothing has held. Nothing is held. All the predictions, all the hand-waving, all the no. It'll only be 4. No, it won't have. None of it held. I don't see anybody. I don't see a reason to be confident that anything's staying put, especially for something like Indiana Jones and the license on that. You're going to want to make as many sales as possible on a title like that, and they're throwing it on Game Pass. Remember when Blade was announced and I was like, yeah, that's a multiplat. No, it's not, pony. You still sure about that? You sure about that? Are you? Are you sure that Blade's not multiplat? I was given assurances that Blade was multiplat. I would just let go of all that. It's just easier to be like, yeah, it's probably all going. It's been a whole paradigm shift. When Satya Nadella says, if I had it my way, there'd be no exclusives. And when he's like, we can now do what we've always wanted to do, make great games and put them on all platforms. Well, nothing's safe, because that's dad, right? Satya is daddy, and he's calling the shots. And I think the Game Pass thing, like I argued yesterday, I think Black Ops 6 on Game Pass is a win that Phil Spencer won. I think he fought for that. Who was saying Doom wasn't coming? Homie, all last year, Will. Do you guys not remember the debates that we had and how I argued that the FTC trial made it clear that ZeniMax wasn't going to be handled case by case, which meant that Phil lied to the regulators? And I remember being told, doesn't matter. Now that they own ZeniMax, they can do whatever they want with ZeniMax. And now all those same people are saying, no, Doom was always going to be a multiplat. Dude, pick a frickin' narrative. First it was case by case. Case by case. You know, existing franchises, they'll stay multiplat, right? Starfield's not an existing franchise, so that's why it's not coming to PlayStation anymore. Case by case. And then the FTC discovers that Phil Spencer walked in the room and said, ZeniMax, all your stuff's exclusive. And then what did people say? Well, I mean, now that they own ZeniMax, they can do whatever they want. So back then, the idea was, if it's a ZeniMax game, exclusive. You had guys on podcasts saying it. You want to play Doom? You want to play Elder Scrolls? You want to play these games? You're going to need to get an Xbox. But then this year rolls around, and when we find out that it's not, it's going to be a multiplat, it's, well, Doom was always going to be a multiplat. I don't know how people keep their heads on straight with how many times they switch sides of what they're going to talk about. I don't know how you don't spin your head off your shoulders. Like, I've not changed once in my positions on this. I've consistently said they're going to buy all this property and they're going to turn into a publisher. They're taking a software strategy. And I just looked at what Satya said. I looked at the behavior and I said, that's what they're going to do. And I was called a port beggar and a pony. And it's like, oh my gosh, it was so easy to see this was going to happen. Zubair says, if I ever hear that Starfield was always going to be a multiplat, I'm going to quit the internet. Train with 39 months in the VIP. Glad to support a great community. Cannot have a member Train with the OG Train. Creature is the best. Hey, good to see you, Train. Those were primarily Xbox fanboys and fan sites that were doing the claiming. I'm not sure what you're arguing then, Will. Did you? What's your thought on it, Will? Tell me what your position was. Did you believe that Doom was going to be an exclusive? Do you believe that there was a change? Like, where are you on Doom as an example? Give me your position on Doom. So people were saying it? Yeah, like people were saying it. It was a consistent argument that we had like every day. Has Port Pony been a thing yet? It has a ring to it. PlayStation trying to make moves as soon as Xbox makes theirs. What are you referring to, Toby? I've always thought established franchises would be multiplat. So, Will, when you heard that Phil Spencer told ZeniMax everything will be multiplat, and Matt Booty reiterated that to the CFO, and the CFO was like, wow, what did you think Phil Spencer meant? What did you think he was planning on doing with titles like Doom and Elder Scrolls? I mean, he literally publicly referred to Elder Scrolls in an interview. I forget where it was. He referred to that as it was going to be an exclusive. They always try to steal the limelight? What? What do you mean they always try to steal the limelight? I want you to tell me how PlayStation stole the limelight with a 30-minute state of play, Astro Bot, and Lego Horizon. Xbox walked out with 30 games across 2 hours. And you think PlayStation stole the limelight with Astro Bot, Lego Horizon, a 30-minute state of play? Come on, dude. Xbox dropped an amazing showcase. I don't think anybody took the limelight from them. That's all anybody's been talking about is Doom and Black Ops 6 and Perfect Dark. Like, what are you kidding me? Yeah, Phantom Blade Zero was at the end of Summer Game Fest. That's true. That's true. It looks good, but yeah. Astro Bot, Lego Horizon, and Phantom Blade Zero. Look out now. PlayStation out here stealing the limelight. That was before. I mean, what they're doing right now. What are they doing right now? What are they doing? What is PlayStation doing right now? What are you talking about? I thought Astro Bot was winning Game Awards. I think it will. I can think that Astro Bot's going to surprise people at the Game Awards and win Game Awards, but I can also say that I don't think Astro Bot and a Lego game are stealing the limelight from Xbox. Lego Horizon has been the most talked about game in the last week or so. I mean, some of that's probably because of Lego. I thought that report was specifically from Summer Game Fest. I didn't think that also included the Xbox Showcase. He's typing from September. I don't think you can steal the limelight when your thing was announced first. Horizon Lego was announced first. How can you steal the limelight? If people got really excited about a Lego game, I don't know what to tell you. I thought Xbox stole the show. I thought that, like, they came out, and I mean, especially Black Ops 6. Do you honestly think that Lego Horizon has more marketing pull than Black Ops 6? Astro's been talked about more than Lego Horizon. Well, I think that's starting to change, though, Trill, because of the previews. The Astro Bot previews are dropping, and they are glowing. I think in the wake of Summer Game Fest, though, they said that Lego Horizon was the most talked about game. Which Xbox and Summer Game Fest games grabbed the most headlines? Wait, they're including the Xbox Showcase, and they're saying Lego Horizon was talked about more? No wonder these guys are pissed. They're like, well, we gotta weaponize this. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't mean to laugh, but I mean, it's got to be a little frustrating that you have like one of the best showcases ever and freaking Lego Horizon got more attention? There's no way. I don't believe that. I refuse. I refuse to believe that, dude. No. No. Black Ops 6 has got to have more pull. Come on. That's not... I don't believe it. 5 spot from your father. I find it hilarious. Phil stated the Doom director wanted to make it multiplayer, so they did. Pete Hines said he wanted that for Starfield, so I don't know about that. I think that's one of the funniest parts of the IGN interview, is Phil's like, yeah, well, the Doom director said he wanted it multiplat, and so we're going to make it multiplat. It's as simple as that. And I'm like, hey, Phil, I have a question. Was that before or after you told ZeniMax all their property would be exclusive? Was that before or after Pete Hines expressed frustration about how they were told their titles would be exclusive? Is that before or after Pete Hines quit on his 24th year? He didn't even want to stay to his 25th year. He was so fed up with what was going on. When exactly did the guy from Doom tell you that he wanted his game to be a multiplat? Where in the timeline did it happen, Phil? The frick out of here. Well, he said he wanted it to be a multiplat, so we're making it a multiplat. As simple as that. Sure, Phil. Sure, Jan. I bet. I bet that's what happened. And I bet Todd Howard and Pete Hines were like, we don't want Starfield to be multiplat, Phil. We want it to be exclusive. Shut the frick up, Phil Spencer. Get the frick out of here, bro. It's as simple as that. I'm sure. You know, I'm sure Bethesda, with an enormous audience on PlayStation, was just chomping at the bit to stop making Starfield for PlayStation. I'm sure. Sure, Jan. You ain't gotta lie, Craig. You ain't gotta lie. You changed your mind. He said he wanted to be multi-plat. Yeah. What did Pete Hines and Todd Howard say about Starfield, Mr. Spencer? Yeah, dude's full of crap. I usually don't call him out on his BS, but if I've ever seen just a shovel of BS, that was it. That was it. It was as simple as that. He said he wanted his game to be a multi-plat. What'd you duct tape Todd Howard and Pete Hines' mouth when you made the decision about Starfield? That's not wordsmithing. That's a lie. That's what I'm saying. He's not wordsmithing. He's just straight up lying. That is not why Doom is a multi-plat. You walked in the room, smacked ZeniMax on the mouth and said, all your stuff's exclusive. And Pete Hines literally said it in an email. We were told our game would be exclusive. But we're supposed to believe that you just were like, oh, the guy in charge of Doom wants it to be multi-plat? Yeah, sure, that's fine. Get out of here. Moody with 28 months in a VIP. Welcome back. Leave Phil alone. He's still very sad from firing all those developers. Think about Phil. Stop. All right. Listen to me. I'm going to throw down another gauntlet. You guys, what's the stretch goal? 80 something? Let's just go for 100 again. If you guys can get this to 100 like you did yesterday, instead of doing a 20 bomb, I'll drop another 50 bomb. I'll do it. I'm going to give you a gauntlet. I'm going to schedule the writer's room. If not, I'm paid up. I paid the 5 that I owe, okay? And you're still a little short on stretch goal. You'll have to get the rest of the stretch goal tomorrow. But if you hit the 100 today, you've nailed it. The stretch goal's achieved for the scary game night Friday night. So, gauntlet has been thrown down. Get the big boys in here. If you scramble this to 100 members, I'll drop a 50 bomb on chat. We've been doing that lately. We've been doing these last-minute gauntlets. Let's do it. We've been having fun. We've been laughing. You know, I'm obviously, you know, I've liked Phil for a long time. I feel like he does a great job. I feel like including him in the showcase was a big sign of strength. But it's like, when he said what he said about Doom, I was like, shut the frick up, bro. You're lying. Will Lewis with a $5 super chat says, I'm thinking now after everything that has happened that ABK and Bethesda games will be multi-plat, maybe with some titles timed Xbox exclusives. I don't think there's a reason for anything to not be multi-plat. I just don't see a reason to keep anything exclusive. What is an exclusive in their ecosystem now? What is it? Okay. Black Ops 6, Doom the Dark Ages, Gears, Avowed, Dragon Age Veilguard, Lego. Yes. I told you. I don't believe that. There's no way Lego Horizon was covered more than Call of Duty. Like I said, I'm pretty sure the headline was saying Lego Horizon was the biggest thing to come out of Summer Game Fest, the thing with Keighley. And I'm like, okay, that's not that difficult. There wasn't much there. There wasn't a whole lot of big stuff there. When compared to the Xbox Showcase, the Xbox Showcase has the top 5 slots. It has Call of Duty, Doom, Gears of War, Avowed, and Dragon Age. Like I said, I was like, I refuse to believe that. I was like, there's no way that Lego Horizon outdid Call of Duty. Like, come on. I knew that sounded fake. I was like, that can't be true. You're not going to outdo the brand and size of Call of Duty. And same with like Doom and Gears of War. Like Gears of War, Jiminy Christmas. That got everybody excited. I knew that. I knew when I said it, I pushed back. Give me credit. When you guys just said that, I was like, I'm pretty sure that was only with respect to Jeff Keighley's event. I don't think they were saying that like Lego Horizon was higher than Xbox's event. And you guys said the article includes Xbox, and I'm like, that's not true. There's no frickin' way. If it was true, that would be hilarious, but it's not true. That's why I was laughing. I was like, the prospect of that being true is insane. Yo, somebody named Scrump Daddy just became a brand new member. Welcome in, Scrump Daddy. He just pushed the member goal to 27. He's like, come on, boys. Let's get this gauntlet going. Let's get it going. You guys have 10 minutes. You have 10 minutes. If not, you're going to need, I think you needed, it was 89 coming in today. 89, and you got 27. So you need 62. You'll need 62 tomorrow. Mick D09 gifts a member, and he says, okay, we can single gift this. He's like, if everybody chips in, we can get this count to 100. And then Lono has to drop a 50 bomb on chat. Appreciate you guys so much with the generosity lately. And I'm setting up the members' writer's room right now. Names all in caps. Man, it's out here with names. Scrump Daddy. I've seen some PlayStation fan sites and YouTubers actually concede that they think they will release the Gears collection to PlayStation. I think that's why we haven't seen it. Personally. If the Gears... And Sadiqua throws one on there, starting a single gifted train. And a 10 bomb from Cardoc Ren takes us to 39, putting us well on our way. You guys are starting. Let's do it. Let's cook it up. I gave you 10 minutes. Let's see if you can do it. You guys have been accepting the call of the gauntlets. And a 5 bomb from Will Broke Boy Lewis, denying his name and saying, I'm not broke. I'm going to chip in, and I'm going to help out, taking us to 44. You guys are already halfway there, practically. I think the reason that you haven't seen the Gears collection is because they're getting it ready for PlayStation. Like, I think they would have dropped it by now. Like, personally, I think they would have dropped it with the Gears 6 announcement. Like, I think that just makes sense to me. Like, you would drop those things in proximity with each other. And a single from Zach, setting up a 5 dunker to 50, putting us at 45 out of 50. Thank you so much, Zach Johnson. I love that someone named Scrump Daddy started this little train by just picking up their own membership. Guys, if you can't gift a member or do a membership, hit that like button. It helps the video and it helps you. The more you engage with the channel, the greater your likelihood of getting a gifted member. Let's get 30 more likes on the video. What the heck is this? I'm getting all these emails. What in the world? Recalibrate. Oh. I was like, they're doing a big event. I was like, you ready to recalibrate? I was like, huh? And a 5 bomb from K. Cole slams it home to 50. You guys are halfway there. 50 out of 50. Can you get to 100? And Sadiq was Agent of Chaos and pushes it past. William Brokeboy Lewis with a $2 super chat tip says, how do you think I came up with the name? With super chats and gifted. That's my man. Sadiq bumps the line to 51. And you guys have 7 minutes. You're moving. You're moving the needle. Let's keep it going. Scrump Daddy says, I've been watching too long to not join. Sorry. Hey, we have about 620 people paying for their own memberships. We want that to hit 700. If you guys can move that to 700, if you can get that many people to pick up their own memberships, I will do a special celebration stream. It will not be Friday night. It will be an extra stream. Every time you guys do that, I will do something. It'll either be like Just Dance karaoke. Who knows what it'll be? It'll be embarrassing and terrible for me, but we'll celebrate that if we can get more people to start picking up their own memberships. So currently we're at like 620. If you can get like 80 people to just upgrade, pick up their own memberships and hit that 700, we'll celebrate. It'll be a completely extra stream. We'll do something beyond what we're already doing to celebrate. What in the heck's going on? I got like a hair or something on my face. And Peachy Creamy says, okay, I'll upgrade. And I'm going to count that. I'm counting that. That's 52. 52 members on the day. Thank you so much, Peachy Creamy. I'll count every upgrade. You guys want to hit that the 100 and make me drop a 50 bomb? I'll count upgrades as well. Let's go. Let's count them. Peachy upgrades. You love to see it. You love to see it. I love to see the commitment and the involvement lately. You guys have been awesome. My brother says that the latest POD album is bringing it. New album solid. I'll have to listen to it. And a 5-bomb comes in from William Broke Boy Lewis, and he sets up the palindrome. 57 out of 75. Thank you so much. Beyond Good and Evil's 20th Anniversary Edition trophies appear online. Artemis says, just a quick one before I go. Love your video format and discussions after it. It makes me want to get into the YouTube rat race. You nailed this formula 100%. Would you ever discuss Star Citizen? I think Star Citizen is going to be really hard for me to discuss because that game's been going for so long and there are like really dedicated channels. I think I might cover and play the single player thing when they release it. Yeah, I might. You guys run out of time? You got 5 minutes. And some people have dropped some big bombs already. Help out. Get involved. Either upgrade or gift. If you're broke, no worries. Smash a like instead. That's right, Lucas. That's the way to do it. They use the back end. I think something is coming. Maybe they're going to finally drop a trailer or something. Maybe we're finally going to figure out what they're doing with Beyond Good and Evil 2. 6 months of memberships from Omar Nilsson says, came for the laughs, staying for the rage. Appreciate that. Appreciate that, dude. In 2 days? What do you mean in 2 days? What's happening in 2 days? Nintendo Direct. What? Shadow Drop? For Beyond Good and Evil 20th Anniversary? Wait, is there a Nintendo Direct in 2 days? What are you talking about? There's a June Nintendo Direct. Among Us may have leaked the big June Nintendo Direct date a day ago. Is this true? It's a rumor. Among Us leaked the Direct. Among Us update set for June 18th. That'll be Tuesday next week. They're going to drop something on the 18th. So it looks like Among Us accidentally leaked that. And a 20 bomb from Riddish takes us to 77. A white badge dropping a 20 bomb on chat. If you guys don't hit 100 members now, I'm going to feel real bad for these people that tried to push it. You love to see it. Riddish, somebody with the white badge dropping a 20 bomb on the channel is just insane to me. Unbelievable. You guys are now 23 away. Let's get it. You got 2 minutes. You better hurry. You're running out of time. And I'll only owe you 10 if you don't hit it. Right now, I only owe you for the 50 and the 75. I only owe you 10. But if you can get it to 100, I'm dropping a 50 bomb. Let's get it. I love to pay it forward and show appreciation. You guys have been going so insane lately. You make it really easy to say thank you and show that appreciation and pay it forward. And Patrick Q gives one, says, come on, boys. Are you kidding me? He's like, we can't get this close and not hit it. And Nemesis Undead renews and hits 12 months. Thank you so much. Yeah, Kale, if you want to use that old coffee link, that will work. That will work. You can put orders in. Well, we should have the new site. I believe we're aiming at next week. But you can use that site still. You can still use that site. Why is it not updating where does this rank? Where's Mash when we need him? Is Mash here? We need him, says Aseo. White badge is making me look, bro. Oh, don't worry about that, Trill. Don't worry about that, Trill. Everybody supports in their own way. Some of y'all keep the chat buzzing. Some of you debate me. Some of you smash like. A lot of you guys lurk. You know? You guys are going to have to summon the spirit of Mash or Javier Cotto or Behemoth or Online MVP or Ghost in the Garage Gaming. You guys are going to need somebody to come in and pull this one out of the fire because you basically have a minute and a half left. You have a minute and a half left. You missed mine. Oh, I'm sorry. Chris F., you did one? Oh, I'm sorry. 24 months from Chris F. says, I came for the laughs. I didn't find that many. 2 years. 2 years in a Reg badge. Thank you so much, Chris F. Yeah, you got shoved out of the chat by Riddish's 20 bomb. Thank you guys so much for keeping your members going. Send out the bat signal. I feel bad for someone like Riddish. I'm gonna give you guys a teeny bit more. I'm not going to extend for very long, but I do. People are really going crazy, and I don't want to just bail. That feels kind of unfair to be like, yep, here's a 10 bomb, suck it. Like, you're not getting the 50 bomb. Who was the white badge gifted like 50 members the other day? Something pajama. Limitless pajama. And Count Blood drops the 20 bomb, making it incredibly easy. He gets you almost all the way there. 98 out of 100. That's it. At the buzzer, it's only 12:16. There's only a minute. There's only an extra minute, and Count Blood basically does it. Who's going to take the glorious single from Zubair? But then Kingslayer says, we need a little extra, and takes it to 104. That's it. You guys got the stretch goal. You got the gauntlet. We're going to do another scary game tomorrow night, and then Madam Can Mess With Me. And a couple more singles coming in from JC and Hyde, taking us to 106. And another one comes in from Scrump Daddy. He didn't just become a member today, he's gifted a member today. You guys are the absolute best. And another one comes in from Joker Quinn. You guys are like, there is no way we're missing this. We're going to send it home and then some. Unbelievable. I'm going to wait for chat to calm down, and I'm there you go. Pay us our gifted, you cheapskate. Listen. I owe you the onesie. I feel so bad about that, okay? Yes. Scary game. Madam Can Mess With Me. I'll wear the Deadpool onesie. I keep forgetting to do that one for you guys. I owe you that one from like 2 weeks ago because I forgot to go find it. I couldn't find it, and I had already had a couple drinks. So I was like, I don't know. I'm going to go upstairs and get lost. So I'm going to do that. Let me pay you guys the 50 that I owe you. You guys are the absolute freaking best. You guys are the best. The way you guys have supported recently and responded to these gauntlets. Give me 10 more likes on the video if you don't mind. Let's hit 400 likes before we get out of here. I thought this was a great discussion, by the way. I just want to say this. All right? We've gotten a lot of hate, and we get a lot of criticism, and we show up in videos and clips, and all that's fine. That's part of the business, and it helps us. But what happens here, I think, has been really enjoyable. I've enjoyed it. I walk away from a show and I say, that was excellent. That was fun. Good disagreements, good debates. We had a great debate yesterday with, I forget her name. And then today we debated Doc. Like, I've really, really enjoyed the vibe and the feel of the shows. Yo, Trill says, I got to get a piece of this action, and he gifts one and takes us to 109. Thank you so much, Trill. Seriously. It's just been really, really enjoyable lately. It has. Like, the vibe of the shows, the people that have been showing up and disagreeing, you've been doing it in a fun way. People are being respectful. Like, it's easy for me to have fun when, like, everybody's bringing that tone to the chat. Like, I can't do this all on my own, right? You guys have been helping, right? We've been kind to the people that have been coming in. Behemoth with 39 months says, best stream and best community. Stonespire gifts a member. He loves to round out these totals, and he takes us to 110. My 50 bomb is still going. It is still going in the chat. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. Mm-hmm. You try. I appreciate it. Okay, is mine done? Okay, I think it's done. And a 10 bomb comes in from Behemoth, and he takes us to 120. We got to get out of here. I'm not gifted anymore today, dude. No way. No way. We got to get the frick out of here, bro. We got to get out of here. I'm not. I'm going to get myself in trouble, bro. Just dropping all these 50 bombs. Yesterday I told you guys, like, if you take it to 200, I'll do another 50 bomb. And I mean, I don't think so. I don't think we should do that. Rodrigo gifts one and takes us to 121. Thank you so much, Rodrigo. Appreciate you, dude. I appreciate you. Thank you so much, Rodrigo. Behemoth's just laughing. Yeah, you guys, I'm gonna get myself in some trouble here. And a 5 bomb comes in from Kardoc Ren and takes us to 126. This isn't even my show anymore. You guys are taking the show hostage. And a 5 bomb comes in from Super Gaming and takes us to 131. Unbelievable. It's not even my show. It's not. I'm not even in control. You got to do it. You owe us 5 more. Behemoth says no, stop. And a 20 bomb from MASH comes in and says this isn't your show anymore. It's our show. 151 members on the day. Somebody called MASH, and before the bell rang, he runs into the ring and drops one square on the neck of the opponent. Unbelievable. You're gifting more? I guess I am. I'm not in control of the show. I'll do it. If you guys hit 200, I'll do it. I'll drop another one. I'll do it. I'm a man of my word. If you guys do it again, I'll drop another one. If not, I'll pay up what I owe. But come on. It's not even my show anymore. You guys are taking over. MASH is a madman coming in out of nowhere like that. The inmates are running the asylum. They are. And I'll give the people what they want. That's fine. You guys want to keep going crazy, Y'all summon this man? I know. If you guys get like online MVP in here or Limitless Pajama or friggin' Ghost in the Garage or on, and a 20 bomb from MASH says it's mine. He's like, this chat is mine. If he gets a tag team partner, we are done. We will hit 200 members like it's nothing. We'll see if anybody comes in. Some of these other big guys do. They come in and they don't let up. Like Alex was doing it the other day. He'll come in and he'll tag team with MASH. It's been crazy. He's Ifrit out dis. Oh my gosh. Oh. I gotta be careful with my voice. You're making me shout. You're making me literally shoutcast. Quite literally. Get ready for an influx of why did I get a membership here? Yeah. What is this? I've never watched this channel before. Well, welcome. It's like YouTube doesn't even know what to do. They're like, well, yeah, this person might like this channel. Salute Reforge in chat. This is a historic moment. Horizon being on Switch. Imagine a Lego Horizon. What were you going to say, Omar? You cut yourself off. Lego Horizon. What? Sequel? Give us what we want. Listen, man, I can't stream all day. You guys have got a little bit further to go. I said if you do it again, I'll drop another 50 bomb, but I mean, you're not quite there yet. MASH has put in the work. I don't think you need to keep asking MASH to do it. Somebody else has got to step up to the plate and help this brother out. I don't even watch this show and I got a membership. well, welcome. Check out the show and the upload. See if you like them. With respect to the Lego discussion, what's your top 3 Lego games? Skywalker Saga, the original Star Wars Lego game, and what was the one I played recently that I liked? I'm trying to remember. It was before... And a 10 bomb from MASH, and a 20 bomb from Riddish. It's a 10, and then it's a 20, making it a 30. That's 201. That's it. Creature's like, I don't watch either, and I've been a member for years. Well, there was another Lego game that I played recently that I really liked. And a 5 bomb from DK Bager takes us to 206 on the day. It's done. I gotta wait. You guys just took over the chat. I have to wait. It'll break the freaking YouTube if I do it right on top. You have to wait. No, it wasn't Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings. What was it? Rissick with a single takes us to 207. Where am I in the thing? There we go. Next goal is that Lono has to play a hard game without a Wheel of Fortune chaser. Yo, I'm loving freaking Lies of P, but I got irritated last night. I got to this section where I kept getting shot by one guy, and then these other guys would throw bombs, and I would just get stun locked. I'd get like shot, and the bomb would hit, and I'd go to run, and another bomb would hit, and I just kept dying. I was like, come on, man. I was like, what is this? This is freaking corny. All right. Here's the 50 that I owe you. I owe you another 50 bomb. I owe you another 50 bomb. Here it comes. Oh, come on, YouTube. It's doing that thing. It's stopping me. How did we fix this last time? I can't remember. It's doing that thing. It's like telling me it can't process the transaction. Spoke too soon. I can't gift members on an account if I'm not a member. Lego Dimensions? Hang on. He broke YouTube, doesn't have to pay. I feel like sometimes we just wait and then it lets me. No. What's this error code? This guy's saying he has to he spends money elsewhere and it fixes it. I've had this same problem. Just use another browser. Okay. Hang on. Let me try that. Let me try another browser. I just think they get freaked out when it's so much. I think they're like, yo, you just did 50. Like, you can't do another. All right, I'm incognito. No. Maybe I have to try like an actual, you had to wait. Yeah, I had to wait till like the next day. Yo, Black-Roan Crusader is pushing the number by 2. I count VIPs as a 2. Thank you so much. We're trying to get to 700 people paying their own membership. Right now we have 620, and we got 2 people today that picked up their own membership. So, okay, let me try Microsoft Edge. I can do it. I know I can do it on my other account. I'd prefer not to do that. I log in, and then it's like, and then it says, you know, Lucas has, you know, gifted all these memberships or whatever, and I don't like doing that. I like it all. I like it all being on. I like it all being on the same account for my records. Like it's. I want to be able to track it. It's never desperate enough to go to Edge. Okay. your channel. What about using your phone? No, I don't want to use my phone because that's the Apple app, and then I'll end up having to pay more. You're taking risks? No, I'm not taking any risks. I can't get the chat to load in Microsoft Edge. I can't see the chat to do it. Like, it won't load the chat. There it goes. I couldn't get the freaking chat to load. If I have to do it tomorrow, I'll do it tomorrow. No, I'm getting the same error in Microsoft Edge. Okay, I owe you guys 50. I'll have to do it tomorrow. It won't let me. I tried incognito. I tried Microsoft Edge. It won't let me. I don't even know why. That's my first of the day. That's my first one of the day. No, wait. I did 2. I did the first 5 at 25 and then a 50. That's not even that much. And what's weird is it doesn't hit the credit card. Like, my credit card company doesn't contact me to be like, hey, is this you? Is this fraudulent? It never happens. It's never like I never even get an alert. It doesn't even try to do it. You know what I mean? It doesn't even try to do it. It's like it just stops it and says, nope, error. Yeah, there's no hold on my card. There's no alerts on my card. I don't know why it does it. I really don't. Thank you, Mike S., for gifting a member you the best, taking it to a nice even 210. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, everybody who went crazy today. I really appreciate it. I know it's not that celebratory when YouTube, drops the hammer on it and it just stops me from doing it. Max out my card? No, it's not even that. Yeah, I just checked that because it's done this before. It did it once before and the card had almost no balance on it. I was like, what in the world's going on? So, yeah, I don't know. Sorry. Again, I know it's not as celebratory. I'll have to do it tomorrow. They might flag it as suspicious behavior. Yeah, I know Stone Spire has gotten stopped before, and somebody else used to get stopped. Like, they would do so many, and then YouTube would just stop them dead in their tracks, and they couldn't do any more. So, yeah. Okay. Well, you guys got the stretch goal and then some. You guys got a stretch goal on top of a stretch goal on top of a stretch goal. So let me just give you guys credit for the week. 102, 35, 126, 150, and then 210. And the week's not even over. Yeah, you hit 623. Like, that's just incredible. That's basically 2 stretch goals because the goal was just 400. So you hit 500, then you hit 600. So yeah, I'll give you whatever you want tomorrow night when we play the scary game. All right, but we got to go. We got to go to Writer's Room. Don't usually switch to Lucas account when this happens. Yeah, but I don't want to do that, Zinthos, because at the end of the year, I can go to one account and basically have a record of everything I did instead of being like, well, I got to check like multiple accounts. I don't like doing that. And it also just isn't. It isn't as celebratory. It's like, thank you, Lucas, for a 50 bomb. You know what I mean? Like, we'll just do it tomorrow. We'll do it tomorrow. If we were in a pinch and I needed to do it to like unlock an emote or something, I would probably be willing to do that. I don't think we're close to an emote unlock. Like, let me double check. I think we need to get to like 4,000 total members to get an emote unlock. I think the record on the channel is like we fell just shy of 4,000 members. And currently we're at 3,720, so we could get there. But I don't think... where do you do the emojis? Customize default perks. Here we go. Emojis. Yeah. It says we need 40 more. I don't think that's... I'm sorry, we need 80 more. I don't think that's true. We would have 44 total emojis. I don't think that's true. I think we have to hit 4,000 total members to unlock our next emote. We have so many emotes. That's like not even a thing that I've ever been concerned about. I'm like, we don't need any more emotes. I'm fine with where we are. It's like we've almost run out of emotes, to be quite honest with you. We have so many. As far as ones that I have made. So, all right, let me give you guys a link of where we're going. This is a great perk for members. If you got a new member, this is a great reason to consider supporting directly. I do this full time, and this is something that we do every day. It's a behind-the-scenes look at how we plan the shows and the content, and so you get to come to this, right? You get to come to this. So, link in chat. That's where we're going. I'll put the link in the Discord as well, because that's a members-only Discord. And let's head over. Thank you again to all the insane gifters, Behemoth, Mash, Riddish, and Celt Blood, and everybody, Cardoc, Ren, and all of the people that did singles and 5 bombs and all of that. That wouldn't be possible without you. Thanks so much for being a member, and you may be surprised that you're a member. Another, I don't even know what to say, another insane day on the channel, 210 members. I dropped a 50 bomb. I owe another one. I'll have to do it tomorrow because YouTube puts a stop sometimes if you do too many big member bombs. And so I will do that tomorrow. You guys have unlocked not just the scary game Friday night, but the incentive, the extra goal of like Madam can mess with me. So I hope you guys enjoy that. If you're like, why did I get a membership to this channel? YouTube sometimes does that, and it thinks that you might enjoy my content. I do a daily upload. That goes over into a talk show. I'm safe for work. It's all about gaming. I hope you enjoy your stay. And if you are wanting to plug in and be more of a member, we have a members-only Discord that you can go into now as a member. I'm going to end the previous stream and redirect everybody over here who is, in fact, a member, and then I'm going to change that thumbnail to no longer show that we're live. I thought that was a great show and a great